Hello, wrestling world. Welcome back to another episode of the Cheap Pop Society. I am joined by, of course, Grandma, and it's Evie. I am, as you can see, we're going by a little bit different here. Shorten it up a little bit. Trav E. Throw it back to my to my grandmother.
Your rapper name?
Yeah, my rapper name. But
I mean, you did watch 8 Mile recently, so
right.
Spaghetti.
So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about when wrestling stopped feeling real, or did it stop feeling real, right? Old school wrestling felt like something like somebody was going to actually get arrested, and today it just feels like everybody has health insurance and a Twitch stream. So where did it become, where was that transition, right? Today we're going to investigate when it stopped feeling real, when it stopped feeling like a bar fight, and when it started feeling more like a theater club, right? But again, it's great to be back with you guys. Before we get too far into it, I want to share something that happened just before we hit record, or right before we joined each other and had our little pre-recording chat.
To our fans, this is breaking news because neither Evie and I have heard this beat yet. So,
right,
No.
I barely know it. So we applied a little while ago for even more platforms. So as of about an hour ago, I got an email saying that we are good with Audible and Amazon Music. So as of tomorrow,
Let's go.
As of tomorrow, we
That's
are on.
everyone listening and tuning in.
Amazon's where I listen to my podcast. So
As of tomorrow, we're on about 736 different platforms. So wherever you listen, definitely get on YouTube, subscribe there, and then wherever you want to listen to us after that, that's fine. But make sure you hit a subscribe button on that. But here we are again.
Hey, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
I was excited about that as well. But before we get into today's topic, which I haven't even given too much thought to here, some stuff's happening this week that we want to talk about. So let's dive in for a couple minutes and see what's going on.
What do you want to talk about?
What do we want to talk about? Well,
let's tell some Cody lies.
The first thing that I have on my notes is Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. So that's it was match 7, right? So crazy series. I guess kind of a little bit of a throwback to Booker T and Chris Benoit back in WCW when they had that best of 7 series. I don't know if that was what they were going for, but knowing how Tony Khan's very much a wrestling historian.
1,000,000,000%, yes.
Right. So maybe that was what they were going for. Whether it was on purpose or not, I don't know, because it goes all the way back to them with ROH. So hasn't been like recently, but the big thing that stood out to me this week was that fucking brainbuster off of a ladder.
I will give it to Tony though, man. If you want to watch wrestling, and not like sports entertainment wrestling like we enjoy or on the regular, AEW is probably the place to be if you're into watching the dream matches that like the indie dream matches. Yeah, because that series of 7, woo.
I don't think it could be argued that I've never been dissatisfied with an AEW pay-per-view. So I haven't got one for a while, but when I do get them, I'm always happy because it's crazy wrestling, athleticism, all that kind of stuff. So, they definitely have that. But kind of good news for them was this past Saturday when that match was AEW Grand Slam Australia. And what they saw from the last episode to this episode was about a 46% increase in viewership, right? So they went up to just over 500,000, but they were way, way down to like 200 and some thousand, somewhere around that. So, and that happens when you promote and you got a special and you got a pay-per-view quality card, but maybe
And it was in Australia too, right?
yeah. So maybe that's a sign of things to come. I don't know. But that was kind of one of the things that stood out to me this week. Just one other thing I would like to touch on, and I don't know if you guys have watched it or have any even inkling to want to watch it, but I watched the Nevermore, the Raven documentary, and I thought it was one of the best wrestling documentaries I've watched. I equate it
Really?
kind of with the Jake the Snake
The
documentary,
Resurrection.
and it's a very independent production, but he opens up about his mental health, about everything. You get to see a kind of a sneak peek of what life is like as Raven. You get a whole history of him and everything. So I definitely recommend it if you're a wrestling fan. If you liked any ECW, if you even know who Raven is, or even if you don't, I would like to throw that recommendation out there. So that's
Fun fact about Raven.
What's that?
WCW versus NWO, the N64 video game. He's on it.
Yeah.
Nobody knows why. He's not a huge wrestler. The developer, his favorite wrestler, Raven.
I think
Oh,
he
that's
actually talks about that in the documentary. And
does he?
Yeah. And I've shared a locker room or two with Raven, and he is very much like he'll help you out. He'll sit there and anything you want to ask him, if you want him to watch whatever, he's very much a giving back to the business kind of guy. So again, I recommend that.
Oh, that's cool to hear.
That's what I have for the week. What do you guys got?
Can I add the recent Raw episode?
Yeah. Yep.
Shoot.
Oh my god, actually, did you guys see that promo that Liv and Stephanie Vaquer cut?
Yes, it was amazing.
Oh my god. I loved it. It was phenomenal. It was in Spanish, and then you got Dominic Mysterio on this side, and he's just sweet talking Liv Morgan and translating everything Stephanie Vaquer. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Unfortunately, I feel we're being baited to where like, oh, you think Liv is just gonna go for Stephanie Vaquer, and then out of nowhere it's like, just kidding, and she goes somewhere else, But
It was
Stephanie
either her or
Vaquer
Jade.
made Liv Morgan cry.
Yeah, so
Just saying.
I have the full translated version here, if you guys don't mind me reading it real quick, and we can talk about it after.
Actually, okay.
So, she said, this is from Steph to Liv Morgan, which made Liv Morgan cry. Did you say 10 years of hard work? You working hard? That's bullshit. You sacrificed nothing. WWE gave you everything. The best training, the best medical. You were given everything. You want to talk about sacrifice? I was born in Chile, a country where wrestling doesn't exist. And now I've traveled all over the world, Japan, Mexico, Latin America, Europe, and I've conquered everything. You should be ashamed because you need to hide behind a judgment day. It's sad because you need to hide behind a man. But let me tell you something. I went through hell and made it mine. Everything I did was to get to WWE and become a champion. This title for me means more than just a title. It's for all the little girls, all the women who never got the opportunity and overcome anyway. Liv, if you pick me, you won't win because I'm going to show you what a real champion is. Cabrona.
She was so good.
Wow.
If you haven't watched it, go watch it for sure.
That
might be some of Steph's best work and actually some of Liv's best work.
And there's so much of
I
it. It
appreciate
just
the
feels,
fact that they let her cut it in Spanish.
and it just feels like that's 100%
Yeah.
from the heart. Like that's no punches pulled. This is how I feel. Fuck you. Like, that's a polite way to say it, I guess. But he or she.
Chinga tu madre.
That's great.
Well, I mean, she did call her like a puta. The other
Liv called
Stephanie
Steph
Vaquer
a puta.
Ah.
Yeah.
and
Which
then
is
she
like
just,
a
Dominic Mysterio.
Hey, we got to translate for Beard because it means like
No,
pork.
I'm sure he knows. It's a very
Okay.
common Spanish word.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs translation.
They don't speak a lot of Spanish in Virginia, I don't think.
Not really.
Dinner's
I've
quicker.
had
I don't want to assume, but
I had 3 semesters of Spanish, a little bit.
He's well
okay, but you're not
acquainted.
covering puta class
No, but we
I'm
were.
sure someone there knows.
for sure.
Our professor told us.
I did. I
What?
love.
And we got to ask her
Really?
cuss words, and she would tell us. It was cool.
Oh,
I mean, we were in college,
In
so
high
it didn't really
school?
matter. No, college.
I was about to say, boy.
Yeah,
high
you
school,
had a
I,
different
high school, I
experience than
learned
I
a
did.
couple colors and how to count to like 10, and that was about it.
I went to an all boys Catholic school,
No,
and
those
I got
strays.
I got kicked out of class for asking a priest if he was a virgin.
Why would
Teach
you
their
do
own,
I
that?
guess.
I was stupid and 13 years old. I didn't know any better. He said we could ask him any question we wanted. I guess just not that.
Right there it goes. That's
But
That's the-
boy. That's where it goes.
Clip
yeah,
it.
I
You
mean,
asked
and
the
we're all
priest
boys.
what?
It was all boys Catholic school. Like, what was they supposed to do? We watched porn and religion. Anyway, I think I love the fact that Steph is being pushed for the first time in a long time to elevate. Why are you getting better? Why do you need to get better? Why do you need to get? You're already a champion. She could easily rest on her laurels and just be like, "I'm the champion. You got to come after me." But no, she's digging in. She's proving herself. She's giving us the why that I always talk about. Why do we care? Why am I invested in your promo? Why do I want to buy your shirt? Why do I want to represent La Primera? You know? And she's
Oh,
giving it to
wearing
us.
her shirt.
And yeah. And she's really okay. Like now I was interested in the match, but I really wanted to see Mommy versus Steph. But now I kind of really want to see Liv because they're creating a why for us. These back and forths. Even getting I don't want to I want Dom to kind of fade into the sunset on this one. He's already did what he had to do. He's already translated what he had to do. Now go. You're not part of the story now. Like if anything, it's just gonna muddle it and make it worse. I need on Monday for Liv to choose Steph, then let's get into the real promos. Tell me why you want to kick her ass. Tell me why you want that title. And then let's go. Like I love seeing this shit. Like this is what drives me to wanting to continue watching. Book the shit out of this. This could be a great match.
I
Like-
agree, and I would find it really
They're
hard.
both
to believe
good
that they-
workers,
yeah,
too.
I'd find it hard to believe they don't go that way. With such a passionate promo, like you come
It
at me,
was
see what
so
happens, right?
good.
So, I hope that's the way they go, and I hope we continue with that. Just much like the Roman Reigns and CM Punk, like we're all just literally one promo away from buying into any match they want to give us. But
Yeah.
the performer has to set that hook. They have to cast out and set the hook, and I feel like that was definitely them doing that with those two.
The
So
first promo. Normally I love the Elimination Chamber because it's a really rad match, but I feel like this year's kind of getting in the way because I already know the match I want to see, and they already promised us that.
right,
Like, just get me there. I don't want to wait 2 months now.
We
Or-
already
and
know.
it's like a week later than normal, right? Something like that, or
Yes.
couple weeks.
Yes. And so, like, that's why I'm like, okay, this CM Punk versus Finn match is going to be great because they're selling the shit out of it. The real best in the world versus the self-proclaimed best in the world.
Mhm.
Like, give me I love you,
Time
Finn.
out,
Explaining
time
to
out. The real best in the world, as in Finn Balor, and then the self-proclaimed, as in CM Punk, or is that backwards?
well, no, that's not me saying it. That's Finn calling himself
Sports
the real world.
Illustrated soon.
The real, yes. Well, no, because that's been his promo and his shtick on Twitter and like his last promo was to be a real best in the world. You got to train in Japan. You got to train in Mexico. You got to train. I mean, Punk's done all those tours. He's been in all that stuff, but Finn, I think we forget or take for granted how good Finn is, and he's kind of just been a bit player. He hasn't been a main guy, and I think we lose in the sauce that he's not he should be at the top of the card on most nights because he's excellent. He's also trilingual. He's awesome, but they're hiding him. He's often injured also, so they're hiding him in the Judgment Day, which is they needed to bring him up, which Edge started it, and Mommy, and then Priest, and now that's a different variation. I like the club, I like the group that they have, but now it's time for Finn to go, and I think that's what we're setting up. What I think we're about to get into is how we think Dom is gonna cost him the match versus Punk at Chamber, and then have a Mania match between Dom and hopefully Demon Finn at Mania, and that would be a phenomenal match. Like if
Talk
all the
about
tea
story
leaves
too,
are
right?
yeah, if all the tea leaves are tea leafing, WrestleMania is gonna blow WrestleMania from last year out of the water. Like I get it, Cena is like I'm gonna retire, so he kind of shifted everything and kind of I don't want to say he ruined it, but he kind of ruined last year's Mania. That shit wasn't fun. But this year we're getting all the matches we wanted to get. Now, if we can get like a Brock versus LA Knight, like is being rumored, that'd be awesome. I love that because I love both guys. Or Finn versus Dom, or I don't think Bianca's coming back. She just had surgery again.
Yeah, what's up with that? That sucks.
She has to have some type of infection, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody's out for broken fingers for a whole year.
Yeah.
What if she was pregnant?
I think she really is. I think it really is the.
That's rumor and innuendo.
Yeah.
That's how rumors get started, no?
Yeah.
True.
All right. So, well, that was a good weekly recap, guys.
Jericho. Sorry. Yes. And the box. Someone put out it's going to be exactly, I think it's like 8,700 days to the day that Jericho debuted for Chamber in Chicago, and he debuted in Chicago. Sean Ross Sapp came out the other day and said it's speculated that Jericho, who hasn't wrestled since 2024 for AEW, has had his contract frozen. It's speculated. I don't know. He was one of the founders, the founding guys in AEW. I think if anybody could get out of their contract with Tony Mark Khan, it would be Jericho, because he's done so much for AEW. If Jericho really said, I need to do this, I don't see Tony standing in the way. And I think, and a goodwill gesture, if WWE has a 90-day on AJ Styles, you let Styles go to AEW with no 90-day as a trade for Jericho, if that's kind of where we're going.
I don't think AJ wants to do that.
No?
I don't think he needs to. I don't think it would make sense for him to do it. I mean, there would be some good matches, but he doesn't need AEW now. But I also don't think that I can see what you're saying, and I agree with it to an extent. But I would think that, especially going into WrestleMania season, I think that Tony Khan would have to take the business aspect of that and how it would look on him into account, more so than, this guy's done everything for us. Thank you very much. I'm going to let you go. Sometimes you just got to be a dick. And when you're, in charge of what you want to say is the second best or second biggest professional wrestling company in the world, sometimes you got to make those decisions, like freezing a contract and saying, you owe me this many dates. I'm sorry.
Okay, but to your point, I knew you were going to say that, and I have a good rebuttal. Tony absolutely blew Vince out of the water by talking shit for doing exactly that. And now he's going to do that to Jericho? Like, that's not really a sign of goodwill for AEW. And I get the business aspect, but let's be real here. When has Tony ever done anything good for business? Go ahead, Ev.
Oh, no, I was just emphasizing.
So, let's do guesses. I think I have a good guess, but tell me who you think is in the box. Both of you.
Well, I saw
do you know the box I'm talking about, Beard?
Yeah, I did see that.
Okay.
2/28/26.
Yeah. So that's my brother's birthday. Actually, shout out to Sam. Who do you think's in the box, Ev?
I saw something online how it can be Hosen.
Danhausen.
Yep.
Very evil.
That'd be cool. I actually like the guy.
I do too. I love Danhausen.
I do too. I
Yeah.
don't,
And he's CM Punk's
I
friend.
don't see him in WWE though.
Really?
I don't think he gets the creative freedom in WWE that he has in AEW.
Yeah, I don't think he gets to keep that gimmick, and it kind of be like the iguana guy or whatever his name is. You know, I think that it would be,
Mr. Iguana.
yeah, it would be kind of every now and again type deal if he was signed, like per appearance deal or whatever. I don't know. I really don't have a true guess as to what could be in there. It makes sense to be Chris Jericho, 100%. I saw rumblings of it might be Vince McMahon, which I don't think is going to happen, but that would be insane because they said we're going to
saw that too.
we're going to go to the big man or whatever they said. You know, we're going above Adam Pearce, and maybe this is the vision bringing somebody in. Maybe it's The Rock. The Rock's on the board of directors. Maybe that it's maybe not necessarily The Rock, but it's going to be something in there that represents The Rock. Like they open it and his belt's in there or something. You know what I mean?
He just finished shooting Jumanji.
Right. I think the most logical would be The Rock. I think the one I want the most is Chris Jericho. I just don't think that it's gonna happen because of I feel like there's a high chance that the contract thing is legit. Like that's what it is because again, maybe I'm just being naive, but I refuse to believe that AEW, being the second biggest company in the world with all of the hype around this, leaves a legend on their active roster page knowing that he's leaving and going to another company in a couple days. Like just let it go. If that's the case, then I'm saying all right, he's not with us anymore because you're allowing that to become a bigger surprise than what
story.
But I don't know.
I like the Danhausen.
I want it to be Chris Jericho.
I like the Danhausen. I at my first thought was Jericho, but then I started thinking back, and then you brought up what I was going to say about The Rock. I think there's an Easter egg or a clue in the box. I don't think there's actually going to be a person.
Right.
I think it's going to be a thing.
A rock, some pebbles.
I was going to say I think it's like a artifact from Jumanji, like some type of. I haven't really watched the movie, so I don't know, but like
Maui's hook?
a whip or something. And yeah, I think that's going to be in the box.
Yeah, I don't see it being.
It's going to create more.
Yeah.
It's going to create more questions than answers, and then it's gonna make us kind of frame The Rock, but not say The Rock. Like we're gonna think, that's fucking The Rock sending a message.
And now
the higher up thing.
Check back with me after Monday, and if they have a countdown clock going, then it's Jericho.
100%.
But I can also see them. There's so much with these little Easter eggs and stuff since Triple H took over that they might just do that to that red herring. Like, oh, there's a countdown timer. Obviously, it's Chris Jericho. But the other thing, I think we're done talking about that part. The fucking mask guy. There's another one, as we know. We talked about a little bit. Who do you think it is?
Bad Bunny.
I think after what we saw, I think you were the one to put that in the chat, right? I think that it's after looking at that, and again, it was one of those. That's who I want it to be, because, like I said in the chat, Grayson Waller. I've listened to him on podcasts and seen his interview. Like he seems like a cool guy, but I don't want to see him.
Just
like I don't.
He's not over.
Right. If you're gonna put somebody under a mask and build anticipation for a month or a month and a half, it's got to be a name. It's got to be somebody that's gonna make the people go, right? Get them to pop.
You're right.
If
good point. Because
if he takes off that mask and it's Grayson Waller, the crowd's gonna go mild, right?
Let me.
Yeah.
let me throw something out there real quick that I've actually been thinking about the last couple of days. It comes out, it's gonna be Bad Bunny, I think, because him and Seth are friends. Seth is at the Super Bowl also. I think, and he's been mentioning really good things about his match with Damian Priest in Puerto Rico. He's also came out, one of the few that came out in WWE that says citizens of Puerto Rico are American citizens.
Yep.
He hasn't done the fuck ice thing as like Brody has in AEW, but I think Seth is towing the company line and trying to be as on that side as possible. I think Bad Bunny coming to help Seth create Seth as a baby,
Yeah.
which we're lacking right now because only Cody's a baby face with any juice. And then slowly you turn either Punk or Roman back to heel.
And it also sets
whoever-
up Logan and Bad Bunny at WrestleMania because
Yes.
he's attacking Vision.
Part of the vision, yes. Now, there's a lot of parts to get there. It's not real easy plug and play. It's one thing has to lead to another, and then you got to build the steps. So, could I see it happening? Absolutely. Do I see it honestly, I'm more intrigued to watch Elimination Chamber now to find out what the hell is actually going to be the deal. Yeah. So,
And I'm just
we'll
so scared
see.
it's going to be some dumbass thing that we're just like, what?
The gobbledygooker.
I'll never watch wrestling again if that's the case.
Can we talk about real quick how messy the Vision is since Braun got hurt?
Well, they lost their direction. They lost their
Yeah.
vision.
Yeah,
They were-
everything's
I think
Rocket
that'll end
was-
up being. I think that'll end up being part of the story.
I can't wait to see the Unreal about it because they've had to shift. All the plans
Yeah.
have had
all the
have had to
storylines
shift.
for sure.
That'll
From Seth getting hurt and Punk having to take the title in October to Braun getting hurt and maybe not even being on Mania. I mean, those two were supposed to be feuding to going into the main event on night 2 or night 1 of Mania, and then they're both out, and then the Vision's kind of collapsing. We don't know what's going on with Bronson Reed. He hasn't had a match in as long as the women's world champion. We barely see him active. He's not doing the tribal thief thing as much. Logan's much more active and much more vocal, and like maybe Paul takes him to the promised land. But then, I don't know where they're going. Like it feels like you're very right. It's very convoluted. It feels like it's a lost, no vision anymore.
Do you
Logan
guys?
Paul is definitely the one that would step up out of all of those, I think.
I was gonna say, do you guys? Are you guys buying Austin Theory as a heel?
I've never bought him.
I'm not.
I was
I was
hoping
kind of
that-
liking him before.
I was hoping he'd be presented differently. And then one of the highlights I seen was him running into the corner and the guy moving and him looking like a dipshit. And so you're presenting him in the same way, but you want him to not be A-Town down. You want him to be this heel.
Like the
That-
Shield member,
that
the
kinda heel
fourth Shield
that-
member.
Those little comedy spot kind of heel does not fit in the Vision. If it happens, you don't sell it like an idiot, right? You sell it like the guy moved, he was faster than me, now I'm turning around and I'm going to find him and I'm going to kick his ass. You don't fall down and make yourself look ridiculous, right? So those are the tweaks that needed to happen to me for him to start to be believable and start to kind of get a grasp as being a heel. That's just the psychology of it to me. As soon as I saw that, I was done. Like I was just like, okay, he's back to being jobber. It's just
You can only put so much polish on a turd. It's still a turd.
right. And I don't have anything against. Like a cool guy. Like from all the interviews and everything I've seen, I want him to be something. And once upon a time, I actually thought he was going to go somewhere, but he never.
Same.
He didn't learn.
He's a solid worker. He's got a good body, but his mic work sucks.
Intercontinental title, U.S. title, that kind of thing. Never. He's not going to be in the main eventer ever. But they've kind of shit on him so much and presented him in a way that I don't know that that's even possible, which is the
Do
same
you think
thing
they
for
should
Grayson
focus on
Waller,
making
which is
him?
why he cannot be the guy under the mask. There's no way
And
I can't.
he's a tweener. He's like 5'9", maybe 5'10",
Yeah.
and he's just he's not believable. And maybe he needs to go to AEW or somewhere else to really get over. But we've seen so much of him, and we've seen nothing from him.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ev.
I was gonna say, you think they should focus on making him more like Chelsea Green? Would you guys buy that? I feel like I would buy that.
I think they messed up when he was away for this long and came back and he fell right into the same category. I just think
Exact same thing.
without a complete overhaul, I don't know what the answer is. And maybe I'm completely wrong, and maybe it's just my preconceived idea of him. But again, when I saw that sell, and that might not even been what they wanted, and that's just how he reacted. But it was goofy to me. And when I would wrestle as the heel, I would do that kind of stuff. Like it's funny, haha. But that's an independent in front of 7,500 people.
Yeah.
I was never made to be a part of the Vision and be this ass kicking team. You know what I mean? So like, you got Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and even Logan Paul, where it's like they're believable to come and Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker can kick anybody's ass, right? Logan Paul, he's gonna talk a bunch of trash and he can punch you. He's got a hard punch,
And he can go, yeah.
Right. And Austin Theory doesn't fit in with that, and right now he just needs to change up. And that's to me that's
Repackaged
how it is.
though?
Just even if it's just working a little bit different. I haven't seen him, like I don't know any promo or anything that he's done, but I do know that when he comes out, pretty cool new entrance music. But the you can hear the entrance music great because the crowd sits on their
Nobody's
hands.
cheering.
Yeah.
The spot you're talking about, the way he could have came back from that is clothesline from hell and really just take the guy's head off. And then it's like, oh, okay, we're not seeing the old Austin Theory. This is okay. Okay, you're taking it serious. But as going back to your question about Chelsea Green, Chelsea owns that. Chelsea not necessarily wants to be a jobber, but Chelsea's so self-aware. She gets herself. She gets where she's at. And she knows she's not. She could be on the tier with Charlotte and Becky and AJ Lee and all these other girls. But she also understands that there's a need for Chelsea Green. And Austin Theory still thinks he's John Cena light. And that's how Vince packaged him. So his whole head is so far up his own ass that once he removes it, maybe he'll do something, but I don't know.
I hope he finds something that works for him. I just don't think this is it. I feel like he tries to force whatever they're giving him. Once he finds something he's comfortable with, I think he'll be able to take off. But it's an uphill battle because the crowd's already made up their mind on him. And that's unfortunate, and that happens. But we've spent a half hour going over all of this week's stuff that stood out to us. I don't have anything else to bring up if you guys don't.
I'll just say that's a good transition into Not Believable by talking about Theory. We can go into what we're going to talk about this week.
A little bit, right? So
go.
We are all about when wrestling felt real. So we're going to take a minute and hop in our Wayback Machine. I find a way to say that all the time, I think. So we're going to hop in there, and as we do, we're going to go all the way back to like beginning in the 40s. Evie, have you ever heard of the territory era? Different territories like the NWA, so the National Wrestling Alliance, Jim Crockett Promotions, World Class Championship Wrestling, Continental Wrestling. So you had essentially what it was is you had National Wrestling Alliance would go toward all these different places, but stuff was broken into different regions, right? So WWF was a Northeast territory. World Class Championship Wrestling was like Georgia. There was
they
Jim
called
Crockett
that
Promotion.
New York. WWE is New York.
Yeah.
And so like if you look at Beard, if you look at the United States as a map, it would be sectioned off. There was like Hollywood, like all like the half of California to Nevada to like New Mexico was one territory, and then the Northeast the Northwest was like Portland, Seattle, kind of into Vancouver, but not really. Then you had the Midwest, which had uh, Kerry Von Erich's dad's promotion. I forget what it's called. And
World
then
Class
you had
Championship.
like World Class, and then you kind of go into the Georgia area. Then you have the Florida. Then you have New
Memphis.
York and Memphis. So just to give you a breakdown of what Beard's talking about as far as looking at a map.
Right. So and you'd have some other little ones too, but a lot of the ones that we're talking about there also had a partnership with the National Wrestling Alliance. So, like when TNA first started, it was NWA TNA because they're basically pulling from the NWA as an umbrella, right? They're somebody like underneath that. So what would happen is like Ric Flair being the NWA champion, right? He would go to these different
Woo!
other little promotions. So he'd go to all these different territories. Um, and what happened there again from the 40s to the 80s is when this was really a thing. The fans would only see their local promotion, so they only really knew what was going on there. Obviously there was no internet, right? There was no world wide webs for them to see anything, so they couldn't figure out everything that was going on. There was no dirt sheets that was making the rounds, so anything like that. Definitely no behind the scene interviews, and because as we talked about before, kayfabe was a big thing, and back then it was even crazier because you have people getting in real fights outside and people getting stabbed, all that kind of stuff. You know, um, uh, also, so along with the territories, it was a less is more kind of a deal. Think about blood, right? Do we see a lot of blood now? I mean, with AEW, I guess we do, but the mainstream kind of vibe there for a while, we didn't see it at all. Back in the day, that was a lot, right? We would see it, but it would be kind of once a feud got to a certain point, right? There would be like cage matches would be built up to. There wouldn't just be a cage match to be a cage match, right? There for a while, we had like the Hell in a Cell pay per view where we knew there was a cage match coming, like a Hell in a Cell match coming. So they would gradually build up to things. So again, this is going uh, back in the early days. Crowds
I
would
have
like
it pulled up
riot.
right here. Let me pull up the map real quick. I have it.
Okay.
So you had NWA Hollywood Wrestling in Los Angeles. Then you had Polynesian Pacific Wrestling, which was The Rock's grandma running it and grandfather.
Yeah.
And then you have Big Time Wrestling, which is in San Francisco. Pacific Northwest, which is Portland, like I talked about. All Star Wrestling, which is in Vancouver. Stampede Wrestling, which is in Calgary, which was Bret Hart's dad's promotion. Then you had AWA, which is Minneapolis. You had NWA Heart of America, which is Kansas City. Tri-State Wrestling, which is Mid-South. World Class Wrestling, which is in Dallas. The Von Erichs. Then you had Western State Sports, which is Amarillo. Southwest Championship, which is San Antonio. Houston Wrestling. Florida Championship Wrestling. Georgia Championship Wrestling. Mid-Atlantic Jim Crockett Promotions. Then Buffalo and Cleveland, you had National Wrestling Federation, WWE, or WWF back then. Actually, it was Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Then you had Canadian promotions, the IWA, Northland Wrestling, which is North Bay, Maple Leaf Wrestling, Toronto, Big Time Wrestling in Detroit, and then Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. So all of these, there was two different factions though. It was like NWA and then Jim Crockett Promotions. Go ahead.
Was this sorry, it's just ringing a bell. Was this when everyone the territories when everyone was just doing their contracts by shaking hands like, oh, I'm not gonna take over this side, I'm not gonna do this, and then Vince was the one that kind of just started breaking that and just collecting as he went on?
Essentially,
Vince Jr.
yeah. Vince Jr. was the guy that. So once he bought the WWF from his dad, he told his dad he wasn't going to run anybody out of business or whatever. But then he very quickly turned around and started doing that. So as he started taking their stars and buying up different companies. That was when WWF went from being the Northeast, right? Went from being New York to spreading throughout the entire country, and then now, it's worldwide. So that started him purchasing the
first
WWF
guy.
started the downfall or the death. It was the lethal injection to the territories.
Well, his dad is notorious for saying, "I would have never sold it to my son if I had known how he was going to run business." Vince Senior, which is Vince's dad, had Hulk Hogan in his territory before, and Hogan wanted to do Rocky 3 or Rocky 2, and Vince said no, and so he quit and he went to go do the Rocky movie, which got him over. He was Thunderlips. Then Vince Jr. took over, bought the Worldwide Wrestling Federation from his dad. Told him, "I'm gonna play it clean. I'm not gonna mess with any of your buddies." And then he brought Hogan in, and then he brought everybody that would any notoriety besides Ric Flair, up until '92 when you saw Royal Rumble, because he was Ric Flair was NWA World Champion. So he was like, that's what that big belt that CM Punk's wearing right now. That's where that originated from. It's actually called the Big Belt. And there's other NWA titles, and they're all kind of ugly. And Rick's notorious for holding them like a satchel.
Yeah.
He never really wore them around his waist. He held it like a prop, like right here, so you can see it well in pictures.
Fun fact: the big gold belt, like the WCW looking big gold belt, 40 years old this week.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
But to what Beard's kind of talking about, you had big guys like Roddy Piper was big in Portland and the Northwest, and then you had like Tony Atlas and a collection of big wrestlers. I would throw names at you, but you probably never heard of. And Vince kind of just started picking made it All-Star Wrestling, and if he has all the toys, everyone's going to watch his show. And that was his, he went bankrupt doing it by running his shows at a high premium. Like Vince literally put his house and money he borrowed from very bad mafia guys on one bet, which was WrestleMania 1. And the bet hit.
Yep.
It was like 50 to 1 odds, and it paid off.
And so once he had all the people, right? Once he took all their most valuable assets, it was a lot easier and cheaper for him to go and buy up the different territories.
Yeah, because he had no real competition.
Right.
It was Ric Flair and Dusty running NWA with.
Right. All over the country. And that'd be too. You would have the same match happen all over the place, or the champion would come in and work whoever your top guy was. So that was the thing. You would, in your territory, you had your top guy that was popular in the region, like the Von Erichs in Texas, right? That's where they were most popular. That's really the only place that they were extremely popular. So when Ric Flair would come in, he would work one of the Von Erichs, and that would sell out a stadium in Texas, but it wouldn't sell 500 tickets in the Northeast, right? So that was just the craziness of the territories. The crowds were insane.
Also, Jerry the King Lawler was huge in Memphis.
Yeah.
And he actually ran Memphis. Like, he was his organization. He bought it. I think he worked with Jerry Jarrett.
Yeah, he worked for Jerry Jarrett, but he was the booker, I guess. But yeah, that was back when fans would jump the rails, come in and try to do whatever. Abdullah the Butcher stabbing people. We talked about that a little bit earlier. There's actually a story. This a little bit later, so I'm gonna skip that one actually. But so yeah, it's crazy stuff that was going on in that era. So if we again, so that was regional isolation, right? Kayfabe being protected, all that kind of stuff. He had longer story arcs. Grandma kind of hit on it a little bit. Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes, right? That was years and years and years. So that it really, when you saw them two in the same place, you just knew that they hated each other, right? So it felt more like hatred and less like content, right? So it was, when you saw those two associated with each other, you knew that they were probably going to cross paths somehow. And
We
again,
kind of
the
covered
real
that in the
consequences.
kayfabe episode when we talked about guys like you would never see them at a restaurant together ever
Right.
because they hated each other. Like they were buddies, but they couldn't ever show it. Because,
Right.
or maybe not buddies, but they respected each other, and they could never hang out. They could never do anything together. Like even to this day, like Cody still talks about his dad and Rick, having a dick measuring contest, and that's Cody's words, not mine. About like Rick shows up in a fur, Dusty shows up in a bigger fur. Rick shows up in a limo, Dusty shows up in a bigger limo. These guys are living a lifestyle, but neither one of them really had the cash to do it.
Right.
Dusty went broke trying to keep up with Rick, and Rick went broke.
Went broke trying to keep up with Rick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. The limousine riding, jet flying, Will and Dylan, kiss stealing, son of a gun. Like that wasn't just a gimmick. He lived that life, and so that was his. Like I said when we talked about the kayfabe era, like this is very much kayfabe. You never saw guys interacting with each other. God forbid someone got pulled over while driving, and let's say for guys you would know, like Undertaker and Ron Simmons in the car, and Paul Bear's in the front seat, like.
And that's why normally they just wouldn't.
Yeah. Because they don't have a program together.
Right. So that was big. Of course, like we said, kayfabe. Title matches were definitely billed as special events. Like that was always going to be the main event. That was what the draw was. That was where we made the money, was making sure that the title match was there. Now, might be the title match. It might be a special attraction match. Right. It's not guaranteed that the title match is going to be the main event. Now, when you watch a match, almost every match, somebody kicks out of like a finish, right? That's a big thing now, where you see usually the second half of the card, you'll see people kicking out of finishes. If you watch AEW, every match somebody kicks out of a finish.
Mm-hmm.
That would never happen,
Awful.
right?
You get killed over that, like legit.
Yeah,
I get upset. Honestly, I get upset when I see them doing that. The whole like someone hits their finisher and it's like 1, 2, and then kick out. That's upsetting.
Yeah,
I don't
so
like
it. Should be only for the big events to do that.
Yeah,
like it really should.
It should be like Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. That was special, right? It should be done. But
because then you see the stress on Taker's face, like, what the fuck do I gotta do to this guy?
Right. And it just
like,
goes
the resiliency.
The more we see it, the less special it is. And like today, Canadian Destroyer would get like a 1 or a 2 count, and in 1985 it would have ended Civilization, right? There's two very different kind of philosophies there. So yeah, fewer kickouts.
Same with Stone Cold Stunner back in the day. No one ever kicked out of it. Right. Now everyone's kicking out when Kevin Owens does it.
Yes.
Beard, let me ask you a question about this real quick. How do you feel about the kick out on 3?
What do you mean, the kick out on 3?
Like the leg goes up after the 3 count. Where they're pretending like they're kicking out.
They lose. What it should be.
Doesn't matter what you think.
Well, I mean, because it's a lot of people. It's a hot button topic for some people.
Kick out on 2. Once it's 3, it's too late.
Well, I know. Well, what I'm saying is like, what?
I was gonna say, did you guys catch on SmackDown? There was I think it was this past SmackDown. They did. You can hear the third being like the third count out, but they didn't count it.
And it can happen too, where it's like 2 3/4, and he's kicking out, and I don't mind if it's obviously that they kicked out. To me, if the referee hits 3 after they've obviously kicked out, then that just shows that he wasn't stopping, right? That doesn't drive me as crazy as the person being late kicking out and the referee automatically pulling the count, because they know it's not supposed to be 3. The referee should be told count 3. If the person doesn't kick out, they fucked up. It's not on the referee. You count to 3. That's the way it is. That's the way it was always anywhere I've ever worked, right? If I'm supposed to kick out and I don't kick out and the referee counts 3, well, guess what? I just lost the match, right? Match is over. We're done. We took it home. Whether it was on purpose or not,
I want
we're done.
I want to see that with Gunter doing the sleeper holds. Like, I want them to count the 10 with the arms going down.
Yeah,
Like,
the King Kong
if you're
Bundy
gonna
style.
make that, if you're gonna make that the huge closer for Gunther, this monster heel you're trying to create, what? Like, I don't want to see Cena smiling. Like, I get what it
Yeah, that
means,
was
but like,
cringy.
come on, man. Go ahead, Ev.
That's like that. I called that for the AJ Styles match. He put him on a sleeper, and then his arm won, and then he called the match.
Yes,
But then you
because
guys
he
were
was
saying
out.
because he was actually passed out or whatever. But like, you didn't see him throw up the X or anything.
No, and that would have added to it. They should have done that. No, I agree with you. They should have done that. I hate that they didn't give us the drama of maybe doing it twice, where AJ at 9 3/4 as the fingers are going down, he pulls up and like old school Hogan, where he hulks up and goes, "You!" like the whole kid and caboodle.
Right.
We don't get
And
that anymore.
that's called selling, right? That's back in the day, even through the Attitude Era, that was a big thing. Even up early 2000s, that was a big thing. And now, what happens when you see again? You see somebody take a DDT that once upon a time was a finish. That's fine if it's not a finish, but they'll take a big move, and they're up at the same time as the person that gave the big move, right? To make it believable, each time something big happens to you, you definitely shouldn't be the first one up, right? Unless the other guy has been getting his ass kicked forever, right? I've beat his ass for 5 minutes. He just happens to get something off on me, then maybe I could get up before him. You just got to make sure that it makes sense. And selling is not something that they have a lot of time to do in between all the flipping and flopping that they do now, right?
Yeah.
Or so they think. But if you sell it the right way, you don't have to kill yourself, right? The crowd's going to react the same way. And I might sound like an old veteran here, but the crowd's going to react just the same way or even louder if you get them connected through selling. Let them see your face. Let them see that you're hurt. If you're the baby face, let them see that you're going to work up every time because you're not going to quit, right? That's the psychology. That's how you make people, especially kids, right? You make them feel that. Oh, that's my hero. Or fuck that guy. I can't stand him. Right? They don't care if
We
we're
don't
both
get
in
that
there.
anymore.
If we're both in there flipping and flopping all around, yeah, wow, well, that's cool. But they don't feel it. They're watching it, they're observing, but they don't feel it. That's the difference. Right?
That's why Seth is great, because he really sells and he really leans into it. Same with Punk. I single those two guys out because the rest of the crew doesn't. I mean, Roman sells. You can see on Roman's facials.
There's definitely people that do it, but it just kind of the overall, like a general thing is it a lot, especially like the younger guys. You see, it's a generalization, yes, but it doesn't happen all the time. Like it used to just be the way it was.
Yeah, that's kind of an indication of what's going on at NXT. I don't feel like they're teaching that as much as they probably should, and and coming from Sean being the head guy there, that's a little surprising because Sean was 6'1", stretched out,
Right.
and he had to sell going against the monsters, Kane, Taker, whoever. Like,
right, and I don't want to sound like the old guy that's like this is way it's got to be, but it's just different now. And if that's the way it's evolving, that's the way it's evolving. But they're doing more than they need to do because it's tried and true. And I see it every weekend where people don't have to kill themselves to get a reaction and get the crowd to buy into it. But if we move on to the Attitude Era, right? So we're talking late 90s, where we have WWF, we have WCW, some of the main people there. So Evie, we're looking at like Stone Cold, Rock, Foley, Hogan, Goldberg, right? Those are names that you would know. Different reasons that the Attitude Era still kind of felt real. It was, of course, it was edgy. It was unfiltered. Right there. That was near the beginning of the Attitude Era. Uh,
That's a real gun being pointed
yeah,
at Stone Cold Steve Austin
yeah.
by Brian
Yeah, that's
Pillman.
not.
And speaking of Stone
That's not.
Cold, you had middle fingers, right? You had beer drinking, you had blood, a little bit more often than you would in the old school. The segments were complete chaos, as proven by the picture that the grandma just showed. They played on real life tension. The big real life tension was you tuned in every week to whatever your show was, kind of the beginning of pro wrestling tribalism, the Monday Night
Yeah.
Wars, right? WCW and WWF. I was a WCW kid. I watched
I
WCW
was a
before I watched
WWE guy.
WWF. And so that was good because WCW went off at like 10 and WWE went off at 11. So there was really only an hour of overlap, but I kept my TV on WCW as long as I could.
I used to watch
Really,
WWE and record WCW, and then watch
really,
WCW on Tuesdays because I didn't want to miss anything.
right.
And then I would tape trade with people at school because they would do the opposite, and then I'd want to rewatch Raw. Like I'm stupid.
I
but
drive my dad crazy flipping back and forth, but if something was happening on WCW, I was, the cruiserweights. That was always my thing. We'll get into that some other
yeah,
episode. Real life tensions. So also think like the Montreal screw job, right? That's real life. Okay. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
it's all those things that are super memorable that really tapped into something in your brain. Like it was reality TV before reality TV was what it is today.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the correlation that what's going to happen? Like they can't do that. Like I remember a feud between Bob Backlund and Bret Hart, and I wanted to jump through the television. I was like, Bob Backlund, you need to stop beating up Bret
Yep.
Hart, man.
Yep.
This ain't cool. Like, because he was everywhere. He just wouldn't leave him alone. It was like a terrorizing dog. He just would not stop fucking with Bret.
Put me in,
And
coach.
Bret was
Put me in.
no, and Beard and I, before you got on, Ev, we were talking about like that's how I felt the first time I saw 8 Mile. Seeing Eminem was my guy. I was like a 13-year-old when the movie came out, and then seeing Eminem get beat up, I was like on the edge of my seat. People had to hold me back. I was like, "You better get your hands off him!" Like, I was stupid, but that's the same thing with or see, WWE has a history of doing this shit, and this is why I'm so glad that's today's topic. Remember when Sean got beat up in Buffalo, and he lost his smile and all the other good stuff, and then he came back, and then he had a concussion, and he just passed out in the ring. Like nobody knew that it wasn't real. Even the EMTs that went to go check on him did not know.
Right.
They weren't clear. They weren't stooged in. They didn't give him the heads up like, "Oh, this is fake." They
They
treated
didn't
it
get
like
Iggy.
he had like he really was, like he really needed to go to the hospital because this guy passed out in the ring. They put oxygen on him and the whole nine. You had fans showing up at the hospital because WWE stupidly told them which hospital they were going to. Like they inundated them with phone calls about Shawn Michaels. The hospital's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Because
Like
we didn't have the internet and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
It was so again, Attitude Era. It was edgy, unfiltered. There was real life tensions it was played off of, and I think the biggest thing was it wasn't like scripted. It was wrestlers legitimately felt unscripted. Brian Pillman, like you showed there, the whole thing you just said, you would never see a promo that was like them memorizing a movie script like you see a lot now, right? Certain wrestlers
Yeah.
still don't do that, but back then nobody did it, right? It was, hey, grandma, I need you to sell that you're fighting for the Intercontinental title, right? You're wanting to become the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Give me what you got. You got 45
Hey, don't
seconds.
laugh. It could happen.
You got 45 seconds to prove that point and get that across. Go. And you either did it or you didn't, right? Sank or swim.
Yeah. I mean,
so you either made us
for
feel
your money.
right. You either made us feel that you were going to become the champion, or we're like, that guy's full of shit, right? Evie.
Was that kind of like the whole when Eddie Guerrero allegedly died in the ring? Do you guys remember that one where he kind of passed out?
Yeah, and that was, I think, due to concussion type deal too. Like, so basically,
Was that real? Okay, so question, was that intended for
yeah,
the
That
it
was a
was
work.
story. It was story. Yeah,
Oh. Oh.
But so was Sean's. They're very particular about what they show and what they don't show. Like when Owen fell from the rafters, they didn't show him dying in the ring. So they were like, they talked about it and they told us what happened and they showed us after we saw the blood on the mat. But that was a very real situation. Like I don't even know how
yeah.
they continued wrestling. You can tell the guys were shook after that match. Like
If you watch the video, like Undertaker coming out and looking at the spot and just seeing like the blood on the apron and knowing that those boards are broken, like that's a mind fuck. Like
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I've wrestled after people have got hurt, never killed, but like wrestled when people had to be taken out on the ambulance, and we're the next segment, and it's tough then. But I couldn't imagine like knowing that your friend is dead and
Well,
you're
Taker
still
said he
expected
was
to go out
blue
there.
when he passed him in
Yeah,
the hallway, and
yeah.
it's like, how do you
Block that out and
React.
go perform in front of millions of people. Like,
Yeah,
that's crazy. I yeah, I'd like to think I could, but I don't know. I can't say that. Uh, moving from that to kind of the modern era, some people kind of deem it as the safety era, uh, for multiple reasons. So, of course, we're talking about all the way back from the PG era, reality, ruthless aggression, to the present, where we have um, WWE's been around for the whole thing, obviously. Uh, AEW since 2019, and that's kind of the more modern how we see things. And there's a lot of things I think that make it seem less real, like less of us feeling what it's all about, or maybe it's just in a different way. It's something that us who have been fans forever, grandma, like it. It's hard for us to get that same connection. I think maybe people that started watching it now they feel the connection, but maybe I'm just old and jaded. That could be a thing too. Especially being like on the other side of the business, it's been hard since then to kind of get a grasp and become a real fan again until we started doing this. And I feel like I've kind of reset the button on that, that's actually
That's
pretty cool.
awesome.
But
But to your point, like seeing the referees put on gloves when blood comes out, fucking irks me, dude.
yeah,
Like
Why?
because
well, because now we
it's
can't
like
see
you
blood,
said,
but like AEW is how WWF used to be, or WWE used to be.
yeah.
Uh,
But okay, but AEW and Mox take it way too fucking far.
I agree.
When he put those spikes in his head and looked like a
Ooh,
pineapple,
And
yes,
I
that's a
showed Evie
Japan.
that before.
That's a Japan
that
thing.
was wild.
I get it, but also like you don't have the viewership to warrant mangling your body.
Right.
Like it
And,
doesn't.
well, and that's where we go to this being the safety era. A lot of that, yeah, it's cool to say no, don't do that because of safety, but sometimes it's not necessarily because of the safety of the performers. It's more the safety of keeping the sponsorship, right? Or
Yeah.
making sure that our sponsors are happy, and they're not going to be happy. Like when you're cutting somebody with a pizza cutter, and then the Domino's commercial comes on.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
But
also, we're never going to get another buried alive match. Yeah.
In AEW, that was actually the thing.
Awful.
Well,
like you can't.
Sorry, I was gonna say, do you think it's more for a lot of kids tune in for WWE? I get there is a lot of fans for AEW as well, but there's that many more for kids, and even as little kids for ourselves, like we was out there jumping off of sofas trying to do the exact same moves, the exact same moonsaults, anything you want. We saw them do. I mean, we grew up with the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
I
grew up with these.
I've jumped off my roof into my trash can.
Okay. There you go. Do you think it's also
Still
not
here.
only just for safety, but to keep the children from doing it.
I maybe
Kids are gonna do it if they want to
think
do it.
that's more of a side effect of it. You know, I don't know that that was like their main thing, but um, big things
Lawsuits, you
that
guys don't think that lawsuits would have been a thing? Like if they see the same things that the old
I know
WWE used to do.
I know there's civil
There's
suits filed,
disclaimers.
but like I don't know how.
They literally say, "Don't do this at home." They
Yeah,
made
right.
fun of the
Like
commercials.
they kind of CYA there, and there's really, I mean, where was the parents? That's basically all they have to say. Um, and
But you
my
laugh, but
mom would
it's
have
true.
just
Like
like my parents just kind of told me I was a dumbass, and it was fine. Whatever blood I had, or one of my friend's teeth
my mom was
stuck
more
right
mad
here,
that I broke the trash can.
right? Oh, we broke a few things, but so I think some of the ways that it feels less real, maybe for some people, the biggest thing, and this is part of the advent of social media and shows like Unreal that we've discussed. Everybody knows that it's a work, right? Podcasts, exposed booking. We're doing that now, and it's kind of led to this, which is cool. Like there's a connection for us that we'd have never met each other because we're on opposite ends of the country, but now we're here doing a show and having fun, and so it's not like it's completely bad.
Doing a
I mean,
ranked podcast, by
at
the
some
way.
point, we're about to hit an event together.
Yes,
Doing
I
a
think I'm actually going
podcast,
to
by the way.
I'm going to go to SmackDown here next month, but it's in Pittsburgh, so that's a ways away.
Excuse me. Can we not gloss over the fact that we are a ranked podcast now?
Oh yeah, ranked on
Just
Apple
saying.
Podcasts.
Just saying.
All right, okay, excuse me.
And also, I would love when they come. I think Rumble's back in the States next year, and it's probably going to be on the East Coast. So hopefully we can line up for that because I've never been to a Rumble.
So I'd love to go back to another one. That's other
I've
than
never been
Mania,
to
that's
the
my
East
favorite.
Coast.
And of course, along with the podcasts that expose booking and all that kind of stuff, and WWE Unreal, you have wrestlers that break character on social media, right? So when you want to buy into it and you want to think that it's real, there's always that thing that you can find that makes you remember, like, oh, they're not the people that they play on TV, right? And maybe that's a good thing that we can say that it's just like a movie that we watch on TV, right? Because wrestling's this really crazy thing that people will hold it kind of a double standard, because yes, it's entertainment, but I can watch these people on the big screen do whatever and say whatever, and it's fine. But if you're over here and it's the same entertainment, but it's live and in front of me, and you do or say the same thing, what are we doing? Right? We're
Yeah.
gonna cancel you. Fuck you. Right? So it's kind of weird.
I think the wrestlers are kind of pulling back the curtain on themselves with like Up Up Down Down podcast,
Yeah.
the Cody's podcast, Undertaker's podcast, like all these different
Yeah.
shows
Logan's
that are
podcast. Everybody got a
like.
Well,
podcast. And you got
once the
me.
floodgates open, there was no closing them, right? So now it's
Yeah.
just it's everywhere, and I can't say that I hate it. It's just stuff that a lot of it's what I already knew, but now we get to hear stories from the legends, which is awesome, right? Like listening to Undertaker and listening to all these people have different wrestlers on their podcasts and telling these stories that there's no way we'd have heard otherwise. Like, 5-year-old me is having a ball. 35-year-olds me having
Seriously.
a ball. Like, I love it.
When Taker did the podcast with Matt versus his wife, and he'd have some of the guys from BSK on there. Oh boy, those stories were good, and they were getting good until they realized that they were talking to us and not just each other.
I think one of my
Like-
favorites was when he had Bruce Pritchard on there.
Oh, that was a great
Priestley.
interview.
A good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody knows it's a work. Then a little bit that we touched on was a safer style, right? Less blood, unless it's AEW. The big thing, concussion awareness, right? We know what that can lead to. Stuff that up until I guess it's about 15 years ago now, any sport didn't really know a whole lot about concussions, and thank God that that's happened, because that's definitely going to play a big part in elongating not just careers but healthy life, right? You don't get hit in the head with a steel chair 500 times and it not have some kind of an effect. McFoley can tell you about that, about driving around and not being able to find home, that kind of thing. Like, so
Oh yeah, it's bad.
yeah,
Chris
and
Benoit killed his family.
yeah, with CTE,
Oh, it's like the football when they like hit helmets.
yeah,
Yeah, it's called CTE.
yeah,
Fighters have it too.
yeah, and
But
so
there's terrible stories like that with not being able to find home, not knowing if they ate today,
yep,
not remembering like, or you see guys like Abdullah, like we are talking about with the forks in the forehead, like he still has all those scars and marks on it looks like tracks on his forehead.
yeah, it's
Dusty
real
Rhodes,
cuts, yeah.
famously before Cody's dad, before he passed away, I mean, it was all lines on his forehead, but that's from blading. Remember I told you about the thimble? I told her off air about blading, and I was explaining to her how they do it. Triple H is notorious for doing it when he cuts his finger, when he tapes his fingers. He has a thimble on his main fingertip, and he puts the tape as close to it as possible so you don't see it, and then he rubs it around across wherever he's getting cut. Go ahead.
So, word of the day, blading to make it look real.
Yeah.
I'll be one of them. I got another one for you though.
What is it? I
We'll
mean,
get
might
to
as
that here in a
well.
minute.
We're at a word of the day segment, so
Oh, we'll get to it in a minute.
okay.
But blading's awful, but everybody does it, and everybody's done it forever, and it's just being
It's crazy how easy
it's
it is
being
to do that.
it's being good with the director. And rest in peace to Kerwin Sophie's longtime WWE director, passed away yesterday or 2 days ago now, and honestly, probably one of the best directors. He was the director before Kevin Dunn started doing all the cuts and making it ugly. Thank you for the memories, man. You were a big part of my childhood, even though I didn't really know what your face looked like. I knew your name, and now I do know what you look like. And I'm sorry for his family's loss and WWE's loss. It sucks that he's gone.
For sure. A big one of those behind the scene heroes that we would never knew about. Now, unfortunately, we know about him, and it's a little bit too late. But
Same
yeah,
with Jay
for sure.
Johnston. Not that he's dead, but
Right.
same vein.
So yeah, the safer style of working is obviously a great thing, but leads to a little bit less realism maybe. So weekly overexposure, I think could be an issue because you used to have 2 hours of WWE, 2 hours of WCW or whatever it was, but now there's pretty much every night of the week you have wrestling, so storylines are gonna get repeated, that kind of thing. Um, it can become an issue storyline wise. You had your
You're
hand up.
saying maybe a little oversaturation?
Yeah, 100%. And they try to take some people and kind of be like, all right, we're gonna give you a couple weeks off, or we're not gonna have you all over everything. But it's just absence makes the heart grow fonder. And when you're seeing not just the same people, like let's not even think about people, but there's only so many ways to kind of construct a match. There's only so many moves that's in the toolbox there. So if I do a drop kick and you do a drop kick and you do a drop kick, what's the drop kick mean? When we see it
Dropkick
spread,
party.
when we see it spread through 6 nights out of the 7. Go ahead.
I got one. Just recently, they started doing this. I think it has something to do with like the German something. But you got a chain of 3, and then they just
German
throw
suplex.
over
How about
the
German suplex?
yeah.
The belly to back.
Or when they get on top of the rope and they're on the corner, and then they're all just lining up, and then here comes the one that's like underneath and like lifts them up, and then they just
The electric chair. So yeah, there's moves that you see all the time that it's going to happen when you have that much on. Now again, is that a bad thing? I don't know. Right?
it was cool at first.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Well, just like, I mean,
I'm
anything.
bored over it.
Blood
just like,
was
I think-
cool at first when I was a kid. I hated when they took blood away and the hardcore matches away, but now that we're getting back into that with AEW, it means something. It's cool, right? I hate that they did a Hell in a Cell match just to do a Hell in a Cell match. now that we don't have a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and it's been a while, I think, since we've had a Hell in a Cell match, it's going to be because it means something. It's coming at the right time.
Yeah.
Right. So we're kind of, I think, going in the right direction on that. It's not just a PR stunt. It plays into the psychology into the story. And I mean, not to be like negative again about everything, but I want to make some counterpoints about what I just made there, and you guys will probably have some more too, or definitely something to add to these. But the counterpoint to the everyone knows it's a work, to being a safer style, and to maybe a little bit of overexposure. I think modern wrestling has, without a doubt, and I think objectively, has better athleticism. Right, the wrestlers today could run circles around wrestlers of yesteryear, right, and a lot of things. They have longer careers because they're working a little bit safer, because we know more about, we have people that are, they're taking their protein, they're eating clean, they're not out taking all the drugs,
taking their vitamins,
and
eating their burgers
every night, right? They're living a very different lifestyle. Right? They're not, an Undertaker, I think, is kind of infamous for saying this. Like, when he was coming up, and even up till the time he retired, like, it was do a show, we go out to the bar and whatever. And he's like, now these kids, they bring their video games with them, and they just go back to the hotel and get something to eat and play their games, and they, so very, very different, which that leads to longer career and obviously a longer life as well. And I don't think that storyline or storytelling has been affected really either, because I think that WWE at least is trying to bring back the longer kind of storyline. Like, look at the deeper storytelling with like the Bloodline, right? Doesn't mean that it's gonna be all the time and that it's gonna hit every single time that they try it, but that's the kind of WWE's selling point, where they're trying to do that. AEW, I think, is getting better at giving us some kind of a story. I admittedly don't watch it enough to say one way or the other, but I from what I've seen, there's at least more story than there used to be, and maybe I'm just going crazy. I don't know. But I think, and if you guys have anything to add, you can. But I think the biggest debate that we can kind of have amongst ourselves is wrestling less real, or is it just that the fans are smarter? Has that kind of affected the way that you as an individual see wrestling?
I think there's too much information out there, and I think that there's no gray area anymore. It's, if you're a fan of someone, you know everything about that fucking guy. Like, there's no secret sauce anymore.
And not only do you know everything about the character, but you know everything about the person. So some people can't distinguish the two, but if, again, knowing that there's the character they play on TV and there's the person that they actually are, part of that's cool. That's awesome. It makes you feel like a bigger fan and whatnot, but also it's going to take away from the realism, because I know that they're kind of a dual personality thing going on here, where they're not who they play on TV. So maybe I can rely on them to suspend my belief for a little bit and make me believe in what they're doing while they're on the screen, but I'm not going to be led to come back next week necessarily, or, I'm not going to be like thinking that they're exactly what they portray, like maybe back in the day we would, but
well, I mean, we have Superman, superhero at night, and he's a day trader or something by day.
Newspaper guy.
I mean, newspaper guy, whatever. I'm not a Superman fan, clearly, but I mean, we're talking about dual personalities. That's what we have. Our superheroes, our cartoon superheroes, that's wrestling essentially.
That's a really good correlation.
Two different people.
I've never thought about it
all within the same thing, because in the real world, though they're not their character, it's still part of who they are.
It is, and with baby faces, it's not as big a deal. But with hills, that they're supposed to be hated, but they're out and about and doing all these things like
You gotta go buy milk.
right, or like how can you hate Dom when he's getting some chicken nuggets, right, or whatever he calls them, nuggies, chicken nuggies,
Nuggies.
and some chalky milk. Like how can you hate on that? You know what I mean? So
I'll
when
find
you
a
have,
way.
when you have gimmicks that are like the dark, like the Wyatt Six, or even like the Undertaker, he wasn't ever guilty of this, but there you have those gimmicks, but then they're out and about and they're somebody that's likable.
You're
And
like, wait a minute,
doing
he's
stuff.
not really dead?
Right. So there are places where it's fine with baby faces, but I think if you're a heel, you got to play it a little bit differently.
Like,
The
Ev's taught me
Undertaker,
more
what do you
about.
mean he tells jokes?
Right. One man. What the hell?
Evie's taught me more about Rhea Ripley than I've ever cared to know about her. I didn't know her real name. I didn't know how many tattoos she had. I didn't know. There's a lot of stuff that Ev's like. Oh yeah,
She
well
has
she
a chicken tattoo down here. A chicken like a chicken nest, like the ones that like you open and it has the things, and it was because it had to do with her nona, or like
See,
it was a
just like
thing
that.
that they would go in there and like get their candies or whatever, and then I love her.
And so I think the way it's evolved, like that's cool to know, but when you look at it from the angle of wrestling itself, that has nothing to do with her character, right? So
Nothing to do with Rhea Ripley.
right. So it's not that it's necessarily a bad thing. It's what we've been evolved into. But you can't tell me that knowing all that and separating her from the badass that she plays on TV makes wrestling feel more real. Right?
It's
Honestly,
bled into
I
real
don't-
life though.
If you put her into the 80s and we know all this about her, then she gets shunned from wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right?
yeah. If you put it in
In the
that
80s,
sense.
you put her in the 80s and she doesn't expose any other part of her other than what her gimmick is. People are running from her when they see her in the hallway. Right?
What do you mean she's married to an AEW wrestler?
Right.
How dare you? What?
So
That's
Yeah.
that's a
That's kind of
conversation.
that's kind of the idea here. Like I like where we're at in wrestling, but it's definitely different than what it
I'm old
was.
school though, dude. That's why I lean on Punk so much, because him and Seth hate each other.
Mhm.
Seth does all these appearances and he hates Punk, no matter what. He ate a hot chicken wing because they told him to say something nice about CM Punk, and he was like, "No, I'll eat the five layers of hell wing or whatever it was."
Bruh.
Right.
And he ate it. He basically drank sauce. And then he shows anytime he gets a shit on him when he does the NFL spots, he does. But I love the commitment. I wish if I saw LA, I would see, but LA Knight doesn't have a rival like that. What was he gonna shit on Triple H? Like,
He can just go home.
why do you hate
Thank
LA
you.
Knight?
I don't
Why
know.
do you hate? Okay, neither one of you can do the yeah.
Sure I can. Sure I
Let me
can.
talk to you. Let me
Yeah.
Why
talk
do
to
you
you.
yeet?
Yes.
Why do you
Yes.
yeet?
Yes.
Because
I'm not a
you
Jey
yeet.
no.
Uso fan.
No yeet. No yeet.
I can't justify LA Knight and Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar should completely kill him in about 4 seconds. I'll give it 6. So he has 3 seconds to do that 5.
LA Knight's a good physique
I love
fighter,
LA Knight's
wrestler
gimmick.
guy.
I like LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
You all know. But aside from that, LA Knight can just. You need a rest. You know, it's okay. Go to sleep. Take a nap. Come on.
It's not that he's a
You know?
bad wrestler. I just don't. I haven't bought into him. Right? Everybody has their own thing. He's
Can you
not my
import? Can you import the Owen Wilson sound when he goes wow, wow, wow,
Like, come here.
wow?
Come here. It's okay. Take a nap.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
so let me throw it back to you. Why? What is it about him that you would think that he should be in a match with a Brock Lesnar?
I think the David and Goliath type of he's had to fight his way tooth and claw against the establishment. He's kind of built up that Stone Cold persona. He kind of sounds like Stone Cold. He sounds like Stone Cold and The Rock had a male baby, and that's what. Yeah, like That's where There's a mountain of a match. I would love to see Oba versus Brock. That's my dream match.
Yes.
I don't think we're getting it. So, but if it's LA Knight, it can only elevate Knight. I wouldn't mind seeing Knight beat him in some type of schmoz. Obviously, Brock's bigger and should just manhandle him. But if we're going to build something going forward, like David and Goliath, he outsmarted him because LA Knight's a smart guy. And he got himself over. And he wears Jordans. I love that. Like, all his boots look like Jordans.
So
like,
essentially, he should be over because he wears Jordans. That's it. Not because he can wrestle, not because,
No, I mean,
he wears Jordans.
Well,
yes, but no.
He can act like The Rock
it's the long
and act
game.
like Stone Cold.
It's the long, but he wears the vest like Stone Cold. It's just elongating his whole career and seeing where he's come from and where he's at. It's like, this guy deserves a chance, man. Like,
he's actually from about an hour and a half away from me.
Oh, you're in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
From Hagerstown, Maryland.
Oh, that's right. He grew up with what's that idiot that hung out with Grok? Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, they were around here. That was the Baltimore area, but Hagerstown. Yeah, I'm just not. I don't know why. I've just never been.
Why? Okay, let me ask you. Why do you not like LA Knight?
He seems like he's just trying to rip off other gimmicks. I don't believe in. There's nothing about him to me that makes him stand out. He can cut a promo and do a little voice and get the people behind him, much like Jey Uso is an entrance. LA Knight's a word.
Run it back, Goose. Run it back.
Again, I don't want to talk too much shit because I know that like people like him and that's fine. Like, he just.
But you don't think he's a good worker?
What's your favorite LA Knight match?
The bounce off of him versus Seth was great. Where Seth got hurt, that was probably his best match. But when LA Knight does that,
it was a story enhancer.
Yeah, but it was great. It was up until he got hurt. It was a great match, and the fact that he's such a the fact that he's such a big dude and doing the cutter or the RKO, whatever the BFT or whatever, like a lot of his moves are athletic, cool. Like I like his moves. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I like who I like. I like who I like, and I don't like Grayson Waller.
Right.
Nobody.
And that's what I mean. It's everybody's tea. Like I've just, he's a good worker. I can admit that. He's just not. Something about it just never clicked with me.
A guy named L.A. Knight is never going to get over. I wish they went back to Eli Drake or whatever the hell they called him before. Dupree. He should go back to Dupree and be with his sister
Maxine?
And have some type of faction. Yeah. They were Dupree! And like, he hates the name, but the gimmick is bad. He's making the best out of a shit gimmick. It's almost like Undertaker being Eggman and then having a Hall of Fame career as Eggman.
If I was booking, I would have him as one of the mid-card champions. And that would be about where he'd be.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I can see that. I can get behind mid.
Maybe a championship match at the Rumble where it doesn't, you can give other people a chance, but I know he's over with the crowd, but Jey Uso was too.
Yeah, but Jay got a run.
Okay,
Yeah,
but hasn't Ali Knight gotten their own?
On other federations, he's got a run.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
but does everyone
and
deserve one?
I'm sure he'll end up with the title. But yeah, so that's the other thing. Like, not everybody can be champion, but
Wow.
I would put LA Knight over Jey Uso though.
Yeah, I would put LA Knight over Jason too. No matter, I don't care how many
I
times you
can,
yeet.
I can agree.
Wow, I'm getting tag teamed against my people. It's crazy.
I'm sure I can name somebody I like that you guys would have the same reaction to. Um,
So far, the people I like are in. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Fuck Drew. Fuck Drew.
It's okay. He has a
well,
title.
it's the same way with Drew.
Not for long. Not for long.
I've never bought into him either. It's
Come
not that
on,
he's,
give it to her.
it's
Give
not
it to
that
her.
he's a
Tell her
bad. It's not that he's a
He
bad
has
worker.
a title. He has a title.
So did Jey
So
Uso.
did Jay.
It's
Yeet.
He's held it longer, I think.
No.
that's fair. That's probably.
Yeet.
But even I don't know.
Period.
I love Cody, Roman, but I've just never bought into LA or Drew. Let me think of some other people. I'm not even a big Seth Rollins fan.
That's what's good to
Just
hear.
never have been. Don't like John Moxley.
You don't like John Moxley?
I'm
He's
about
got
to get
no
a little
personality.
soured.
He's got no personality.
I like him more now than ever, and that's just because of kind of like he has that little niche of matches that I like. But again, he goes too far.
death
Like
match?
there's no reason to put people's heads in
goes
an
too
aquarium. There's no reason to, like you said, put the little bamboo sticks or whatever in somebody's head. Like, that's kind of stuff's crazy. But
He did get Mitch the Plant over.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a
Go
lot
ahead,
of people
Evie.
that just like anybody else. I have my favorites. I respect all of them for what they do. Obviously, they're there for a reason. But
So this is
personally,
you being political because you're a former / current wrestler
yeah.
in hiatus. So
Yeah.
you're just being political right now. You're not giving me the real beard. I need to hear Travis takes on this,
Input?
not beard.
Well, I mean that is my take that there's just not people that I enjoy. Like I can't tell you my favorite Drew match. I can't tell you my favorite LA match. It might be
You know
his.
what?
Maybe it's his Slim Jim commercial. That'd be about the only thing I remember.
I cannot tell you my favorite Drew match either. I do love his gimmick though. And I do think because he took all those L's, he deserved the title.
That's wild
Even
that I
if
can
it's for a
name
small,
a Drew
even
match.
if it's for a small stint, you know.
What do
His
you guys
match with
think
Punk.
of?
His match
Wow.
with Punk.
While we're on this, what do you guys think of Sheamus?
Who?
I don't like Sheamus because I know he's Triple H's bitch.
Wait, come again. Who?
The white
that?
guy. The white guy.
I know who it is. I know who it is.
I know.
He has that
know.
YouTube or that podcast where he works out with all the wrestlers, and I know who he is.
I know.
Irish
I was being funny. But yeah, I'm not a Sheamus guy. I've never been a Sheamus guy. I like Rusev and I like Rusev Day, and they teased Rusev Day this past week with the
I do
shirt.
not
I
like
saw that.
Rusev.
But he needs Lana to get over because he's not good on the mic. But that's another one. So what you're talking about, I've met him at a Clipper game. He's fucking funny in person, and he's funny in the background character. But when you put the mic on him, he's too Russian serious. He doesn't let his own personality come out, and I think that's what's holding him back. We've never gotten Miro. We keep getting Rusev.
I guess my hot take
Well-
here. I'm just looking down through the roster, just trying to find people for us to debate here because this is fun. I put Logan Paul over LA Knight. I like Logan Paul.
Ooh.
He's caught on really, really quick.
Ooh.
He's a great heel because he's naturally people despise him.
I don't know how I feel about that, and it kind of it kind of hurts.
It hurts my soul that I have to agree with you.
I will give Logan his flowers. I will, he's athletic. He's I mean, he's what's the word I'm looking for? Like he's recovered, redeemed.
Yeah.
He's redeemed himself from the whole Japan thing.
Yeah.
And him
very
being
charismatic.
immature.
I've
Very
also
But
I've also never been a huge Rey Mysterio fan. I don't hate him. I don't dislike him. I just don't.
I agree with you 100%.
I can get with that.
The Rock. I was never a big Rock fan.
His wrestling, I used
entertaining.
to like the eyebrow thing and the
fight.
Yeah, I mean he's entertaining, but
for sure.
I don't care to watch him wrestle.
The people's elbow.
Yeah,
he's the most electric man in sports entertainment. If you smell with the Rock.
But also, I mean, I hated Goldberg.
I like Goldberg for what Goldberg was, but really go back. You can't just shine the Rock on like that. You can't turn it sideways, shine it up, and stick it straight up a candy ass without talking about why you don't like the Rock. What do you not like about? What do you not like about the Rock?
He got a gimmick. That's it.
Again, tell me you hate Shawn Michaels, and I'm going to end
He's entertaining, but I never wanted to see him wrestle. Like I don't. He got
Rock Hogan Toronto.
Yeah, that was a good story. That was a good match. But I don't. Going into that match, I didn't care.
You're making me so sad right now, dude.
I mean, I watched the match over and over. I love the match, but I remember going into it like I'd have much rather it have been Stone Cold. And I've never even been a huge Stone Cold guy.
Oh hell yeah! Who did you like? Who the fuck did you like? You hate everybody.
Undertaker, Kane,
Sting, Taker.
Oh fucking
Triple H.
Wait.
Shawn Michaels.
You're a WCW guy. That's why. You didn't even experience it. Oh, you didn't know.
I did.
Yeah, but on peripheral.
I did.
I like
you were reading Jericho's the 10,000 moves of Jericho.
Yeah, somewhere he's still reading those.
Headlock.
3 fucking segments. I remember that as a kid. This came back on, and now I'd laugh at it, but then I was pissed.
So you like maybe Glacier?
No. He's a good guy, though. I met him. Worked with him a couple
times. Curryman? He's hot. He's spicy.
He's Christopher Daniels.
So you were more Colt Cabana than CM Punk then?
No, I was CM Punk guy.
Okay, we can continue because, woo! I was about to flip the next flight to Virginia.
And like it's not. Again, it's not that I even like hate any of them. Like some of them I do, but like they just weren't my people that I looked forward to or wanted to see. Like I don't have anything against most of them. I just.
But Beard also got 37-man NWO groups and NWO Black and White, NWO Red and Black.
But
like,
yeah.
You probably hold some of those guys in higher regard than I do.
Maybe.
Because I was never a Lex Luger guy.
Me either.
Narcissus, Lex Luger, Lex Express.
Yeah, I didn't.
None of that.
I don't even know who he is.
Ric Flair, Sting.
I'm gonna say something that might be needed to be clipped. Ric Flair, the most overrated wrestler of all time.
Really?
Ooh.
Why is that?
Okay, can I say something? When I started watching wrestling again back in 22, and then I know Charlotte just came back recently, but I didn't like her because she had the whole woo and came out in those flashy robes like her dad. I was like, can you be original? And
No, because that's her gimmick.
I didn't watch her before that, sir. So I watched
Hold
her when
on,
she
hold
came
on,
back,
hold on.
and I didn't
Tranquilo.
like her.
Chill,
Sir.
chill. I get it. But why,
Did
when
you
you
tell
have
me
a
to
bank
chill?
full, chill.
Did you tell me to chill?
Yes. Chill, Chili
Oh,
Willy.
we're gonna have some problems.
When you have the IP of Ric Flair and you're the spawn of Ric Flair and you've had 3 divorces already, you're going to lean into the whole fucking thing.
Woo!
She's really trying to be your father.
She's dating Puka Nakua right now, 15 years her junior.
But
The wide receiver from the Rams.
I think Ric Flair gets his reputation from being the guy that he was never the guy that beat everybody. He lost more than he won. He got the championship because of that, I guess, but he could make anybody look like a $1,000,000, right? He was the guy that was going to go in there, have them look great, like Sting. He made Sting at Great American Bash 1990.
I don't
And
disagree with that.
That's his job. That's how he got his reputation. His reputation wasn't playing politics, and that doesn't work for me, brother. Right?
That we know of. That we know of.
If it was, he did a piss poor job at it because he lost everything.
True, but he
He
always
won
had a title
16
for some
matches
reason.
in his whole career.
Yeah. I think. Oh, this is going to be controversial as fuck. Bret Hart was a better world champion than Ric Flair.
Oof. Don't know
And I'll
what you guys are
fight.
talking
I can
about.
fight. I think I have enough ammunition in my back pocket to fight that. To fight somebody on or have a debate about that. I may be wrong,
Let's hear it.
but Rick. I mean, you don't just call someone the excellence of execution. Every move Bret made, you felt like he was actually inflicting pain, and he never hurt anybody in his 30-year career. Not one guy was hurt because of Bret Hart. Bret Hart made Stone Cold. Huh?
Who'd Ric Flair hurt?
Well, he hurts me just watching him slap people in the chest, and he hurts me watching him drink and still try to wrestle at 108 years old.
That hurts less than a Bret Hart promo.
Okay, sure. They're not perfect. They're not perfect. Okay, so that's actually a really good question. What do you value more, promo or in-ring work? Because you can't always have both. You're going to be better at one than the other. So what's from the wrestler's point of view, and then we'll ask Evie from the fans' point of view. What's more important to you, in-ring work, or cutting a good promo?
Anybody can be taught the moves and how to, and it can be led through the match. But nobody's going to care unless you can cut a promo and you can be the gimmick. And I think that's honestly why Bret Hart isn't ranked higher by a lot of people. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people hold him in the high regard. One of my best friends, that's his favorite wrestler, and he would kick me in the nuts if I ever said anything bad about Bret Hart. But that's where he lacked, right? Look at, and I'm not saying they're on the same level at all, but like Bobby Lashley. $1 million body, right?
10-cent voice.
Yeah. And that was the disconnect. He could be 14, 15-time champion if he had the voice to back it up, or maybe if he had the right manager or something, something like that. But I mean, he's in better shape still than I'll ever be in,
Me too.
But there's those different things that don't allow you to connect, and I think that was Bret Hart's one thing keeping him from being a Mount Rushmore wrestler. Now, he is one. If you talk to him, he'll tell you. But
yeah,
Bret
Hart loves some Bret Hart.
Yeah,
And he hates some Goldberg.
and he hates some everybody else, and
Yeah.
he's just grumpy.
Yeah,
but
the
he
bitterness does not reflect well as he ages.
no.
I would just put
But
his
I'd be
work
bitter
with
too if I
Sean.
got kicked in the head by Goldberg. Like I can't
Yeah.
blame him for that. Like that's shitty. But
But yeah, his promos, I mean, it hurt to watch sometimes. And sure, he was led by the nose by Sean and whoever he was working with. But his in-ring work was so great. It's hard. It's for me. It's easy to be like, okay, well, he wasn't. He was like a 3 or a 4 on the mic, but he was a 12 on in-ring work. Versus Sean. That's why it's so hard to compare Sean and Brett. Even though it's probably the easiest comparison, it's also the most difficult because Sean was out of 10, he was a 15 wrestler, and out of 10, he was a 15 mic guy.
yeah,
You bought everything Sean sold, no matter what it was. And in the ring, nobody worked better. They don't just call you Mr. WrestleMania for no reason. Like
right.
his best match, in my opinion, was him versus a ladder in WrestleMania 10. And I know that's disrespectful to Scott Hall, who was a damn good wrestler in his own right. But Sean put on this whole match and the whole show on that one particular night. Like, even when Sean wasn't the main character, he was still must-see TV.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so, that's so difficult because I want to battle for Brett, but
And it depends on your style of wrestling too. Like, what do you like? If you like headlocks and submissions and that kind of thing, and you're very, like dungeon style, like that, if that's your thing, then Bret Hart's the way to go, right?
well, Brett versus Stone Cold when they had the double turn and he had
The submission match.
Stone Cold in the sharpshooter, and then I'm sorry, Steve had the blood coming down from his mouth, and they made that whole T-shirt, blood from a stone, like that. Oh my God! Like I didn't know as a kid, 11, 12 years old when it happened. I didn't know like, oh my God, Brett's my guy, but look how fucking tough Stone Cold is. Like, oh my God, what do I do? Like, who do I root for?
Right.
And then Brett goes into full bad guy mode after Stone Cold passes out, and then beats the shit out of him. I threw all my Bret Hart stuff in a box, and I made my mom buy me a bunch of Stone Cold shirts. Like that was the move. Like I showed up the next week with the awesome 316.
And so when I was a kid, the whole Shawn versus Bret Hart thing, I was Shawn Michaels.
Always.
So
I still play Sexy Boy.
I think
every so
that's
often.
why. Again,
No,
Bret Hart is what he is. He's one of the best wrestlers ever. But
you're right. He's on that tier below. You know where he's at? He's on a Batista tier. Really good, not great.
You talk about how fun that man has aged.
You've talked. Stop it. You've talked me down. I am no longer backing Bret Hart for being one of the greatest of all time.
And
you're right. I can't do it. I can't do it.
And you.
I find it hard to put
This
him
is
above.
Batista now.
I don't know how you put him above like a Ric Flair either, because Ric Flair is not the top draw. Yeah, he was good for NWA, but again, he made people. That was kind of what he took pride in.
That's why when people say you got to do give me your Rushmore, like what era?
Right.
You can't do if you do a full last 100 years of wrestling. How do you keep San Martino out of your Rushmore? How do you keep Gorilla Monsoon out of your Rushmore? How do you keep Undertaker out of your Rushmore?
Ric Flair was really the last touring champion of the territories.
Yeah.
So that was when he grew into the whole business. Like Bret Hart was in WWF for a handful of years and was Intercontinental Champion for a while. He carried
for 17 years. He was in WWE.
Him and Diesel were champions at the lowest point in the business, and not his fault necessarily. Right? He didn't move the needle, but nobody was going to move the needle at that time, in '93 or whatever it was. So, I don't know. It was kind of unfair for him for that time period, but anyway, that's our
Give me your Rushmore. Give me your Rushmore.
my personal Rushmore.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put.
I don't want to even ask Evie because I already know it's going to be like Rhea Ripley, China, Cody Rhodes, and Io Sky.
You clearly do not know me.
I'm gonna put surprise Sting, Ric Flair. No, hold on, Sting.
Better work on mine.
Oh, I got like 5. Sting, Flair, Taker.
Can't leave Terry out.
Sean. I want to
Wow.
put and Triple H is one of my favorites as well, but
Wow. I'm a little disappointed in you right now.
really, what's yours?
I don't disagree with a couple of them, but I'm going to get vilified for keeping Flair off of mine. He would be 5. Sean, Taker, Hogan, Cena.
And again, I was never a big Hogan guy. Just
Sure, and you don't
He
have
was.
to be. It's just the impact that he had on the business.
I was just doing my
we're-
personal. I thought we were doing our personal. Mount
Oh,
Rushmore.
I thought it was. I thought it was personal too. I'm like,
okay,
hold
we
on.
can do personal.
I might need
Then
to
I'm gonna-
reevaluate my list.
Mine changes then because
Yeah, I
I
mean,
go.
Hulk Hogan has to be on there if you're talking just business in general. There's no.
Yeah,
He's
if
number
it's
one.
just, if it's
Sting wouldn't
it's
be on there.
personal?
Sting wouldn't be on there if it wasn't personal.
what's your WCW guy? So that I would say okay, Sting was the top guy in WCW
but
for many
the
years.
Business overall, he was only a WCW guy, and he was never a big draw outside of that.
Got it. So okay, so my 4 is Punk, Roddy Piper,
Oh, nice. I didn't expect that one. That's cool.
Shawn Michaels. Shit.
It's hard, isn't it? Because you're sitting there like 3 different names in your head that you want to. Who do you pick? That's why it hurt me to leave Triple H off of that. But I was Shawn Michaels before I was Triple H.
Stone Cold.
Okay, so you said
Go ahead, Ev.
Next,
Cole.
so I'm
Hold
gonna
on, hold
tell
on,
it
hold on,
to
hold on.
you.
Hold on.
Sorry.
You said Stone Cold, Piper,
Stone Cold, Piper, Punk,
Shawn, and Punk.
and Shawn. Yeah. Go ahead, Ev. We're just recapping.
So I'm gonna tell it to you the way I fell in love with it in the beginning and how I am with it now.
Okay.
Kind of, I guess, right? So when I started watching, China was a big thing, and that was my girl. I was like, when I grow up, I'm Nexus. That's me, right? So it's
She's a
gonna be
ninth
China,
wonder of the world. I don't hate it.
China. Undertaker. I just absolutely love him. And then I'm gonna have to do 6, guys. Sorry. So
You
and
got
then
to choose 4. We had to choose 4.
We had to do 4.
no,
No.
no,
can do
You can
4.
let us,
Give
you
us
can let
your
us
hold
know
on.
who
Give
5
us
and
your
6
best.
is, but I haven't seen a
Give
Mount
us your
Rushmore
best
yet
4.
with 6 people.
Give us your best 4 and then your 2 alternates. So reevaluate how you're going to give us. You give us 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5.
It's tough. I mean, I could easily put Triple H on my top
Okay,
4, but I
I'm
left him
gonna
off.
get. Okay. So I'll
Same.
give you the 4, but then I'm gonna give you my list. Okay. So
Trips is 5 for me.
China, Taker, OTC, and Rhea Ripley.
Fuck, I forgot. Okay, you said I don't know you, but I had 2 of your 4, so
Hold on. Okay. Now my top 6, and it's just because something about their character just kind of, just, you know. So we got China, we got Taker, We got Rikishi. Okay? And you all know the reason why. Them cheeks put in some work, okay?
Are you talking about his never mind.
Yes.
His offspring?
No.
The powerful nutsack. He has Jay, Jimmy, and Solo that came out of those Rikishi balls.
No. So it's Rikishi. Because of the you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
If you say Nia Jax, I'm gonna drive to your house right now, and I key your car.
So we got Rikishi, and then we got OTC, because I was originally brought back because of the bloodline. We got Rhea Ripley, and we got Miss Chelsea Green. And that's it.
Hold
that's
on.
My top 6.
Veer, do you remember? Veer, do you remember in Tough Enough when they asked what's her name, the black chick, the skinny black chick, what her favorite wrestling match of all time was, and she said Trish versus Lita.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel right now.
No, it's not. I'm not talking about like their in-ring performance. I'm talking about the reasons why I connected with these people at some way, or something that intrigued me was something about their characters, and the reason why I kept watching.
I don't hate your list. Beard, you were going to say something?
Who's your Mount Rushmore of women?
Ooh.
Me?
Yeah.
Trish, Charlotte, Lita,
I think that's her name.
Rhea.
That's hilarious because that's the 4 that I wrote down as mine.
Yes, let's go.
My number 5 that I contemplated putting on the list. I love Bianca Belair. I always have.
I was wrestling with Mickie James.
She's such a sweetheart. I've met her
also,
on tour.
Jacqueline should probably be in consideration. She was a really good wrestler in her time, and the shit she had to deal with.
Yeah, it's so hard to even think about. Like it sucks for them because only like ones that really wrestled from that era was Trish and Lita. Everybody else just kind of did whatever.
Just showed up in a bikini and called it a day.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ev.
I don't know if I want to say it now because they're two different lists.
It's okay. Just say what you got. No one's judging you.
Hey,
we got China.
The beautiful part about professional wrestling is it's up to you what your list is, and everybody else can.
It's all point of view. Yeah.
We got China. We got Rhea. We got Alexa, and then I don't know if it's Nikki James or Melania. I think the one that used to do the splits.
Melina.
To enter and go in.
Oh yeah, Melina.
Melina Perez.
Yep.
I love Alexa.
She didn't wrestle enough, but she was an amazing manager.
It wasn't. Again, it's not about the skill for me. It's about the little things in
what she made you feel. Yeah. Right.
Which is
and if we're
a lot of what we've talked about today.
And if we're going off, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't have my first. How do I put this politely?
No,
first crush.
No,
my first crush.
Know what you're gonna say? Nope. Don't say it.
My first crush was on Sunny. I think a lot of guys. She was next to Trish Stratus, the #1 downloaded woman on AOL for like 3 years straight.
My first was Trish Stratus.
Yeah, I was into Sunny for the longest time.
So
I said it politely. I wasn't disrespectful.
A jab.
Kelly.
A jab.
Kelly. She's my age.
Stacy Keibler.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ev.
So I'm gonna throw a jab because we all did our Mount Rushmores or whatever and our favorites. I'd like to just, go back for a second. Beard, you're a little more old school. Ernie, you're a little more, or Grandma, you're a little more in between both of our worlds. And then I'm more of the what's currently on TV, right? And not one of us said the Bella twins. And I want to take the time to appreciate both of y'all's. Because if three
That should
different
tell you
people from
something.
3 different settings do not appreciate, why are they on our screens?
They're trying to be appreciated.
That's all I gotta
Yeah.
say.
They're early
All right.
40s, still trying to collect a paycheck.
Yeah. Well, I think with all that said, I think it is time for us to move into our insider word of the week.
Oh, okay. Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, indeed. So this
I like
week,
it. Sound effects.
we've already kind of had one, an impromptu word of the week, which was blading. We went over. The word I picked this week, for really no rhyme or reason, a little bit of a reason, I guess, because you talk about old school and feeling a little bit more real. It doesn't get much more real than a potato. All right, so potato
Ooh.
is our word of the week. What do you think that means?
Word of the day.
Thanks. I'm so glad you asked. Potato. So now listen to my brain, okay? Potato. It means hot potato. It means sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're cold. It means it's delicious. So, it doesn't mean it's a good match.
All
Okay.
those things are correct, but they are delicious. However, that is not what he's talking about.
Versatile. Because you got French fries, you got mashed
Let
potatoes.
me
you got
frame
baked
it.
potatoes.
Let me
That's
frame it
it.
this way. Let me frame it this way. Me and Grandma are in a match, and maybe we had an exchange backstage, and maybe
Beard shit on my bag.
maybe I pissed him off a little bit. So we go out to the ring. What do you think he's gonna do? Is he gonna be nice and easy with me, or do you think he's gonna be a little bit snug and maybe lay a couple shots in?
Potato bag swinging at you.
You're on the right track. So it's
hold on. She knows this one. Hold on. She knows. I'm getting my receipt.
Oh, you're cashing in.
Money in the bank.
She knows
so-
what receipt is.
Yeah. So a potato would be like you get hit with a punch, right? If he actually hits you like hard, like you don't necessarily have to have a lump or anything, but it's just
I have a good example.
Getting hit, right? The strike to the head that makes
Like for real.
actual contact. Yeah.
So Brock and Braun were, I think it was a
Yep.
Royal Rumble match.
Yep.
And Braun Strowman was a little too snug for Brock's liking, and snug means he was hit him a little too hard. And so Brock hit him with a 2-piece and dropped his ass.
And those were potatoes.
Real punches, real potatoes. And Braun goes, "Hey man, do I owe you money?" True story.
Oh, so
That
like
happened.
throwing the potatoes at them.
Or hitting him with a potato, yeah.
Getting hit in the face. So when Brock punched
Like a
him
real
in the face,
punch.
that's called
punch.
potatoes.
Yeah, like
So,
you're gonna get a bruise if I toss a real hard potato at your face.
Yep. So when
100%.
right, exactly. So when Braun went to the back, he would say, "Man, Brock Lesnar potatoed me." So that's the word of the week this week. We'll
That's a
see
great word,
we'll see
bro.
what
I love that. That
we'll
was
see what
great.
the next one is. We got one more segment, I think, before we wrap it up for the week. We always got to find a way to work in that cheap pop or go away heat. That's
Love that. That's my favorite segment.
kind of here to stay, I believe. We'll all kind of take our turns in getting our vote here. So cheap pop or go away heat. Blood in big matches. So in matches that are important, right? Not just every match. Not every time Ric Flair walked to the ring. Not every time that John Moxley is in between the ropes or whatever. So how we feel about that.
Go ahead, Ev.
I'd say keep it. I like it.
So cheap pop.
Yeah.
Good.
Cheap pop.
What do you feel, Grandma?
I can literally go either way. Since she said it's a cheap pop and she likes it, I'm gonna go against it. I think if the performance is good enough in the ring, it doesn't need the blood. You don't need blood to sell a match. It helps. It's an enhancement, but I don't think it's something that I go into I don't go to Mania or the regular house show and necessarily need.
I'd say 2 relative matches. If it is a street fight, I want blood. If it's a chair or ladder, whatever, I expect someone to come out bleeding.
So I'm gonna be cheap pop also. You know, it doesn't have to happen in most matches, but when it does, I think it should mean something. So like if it's their first match or even their second match together, then no. But if this is the rubber match, if we've worked our way, to me it should be a logical progression where you have a singles match, maybe 2 singles matches, and then you have some kind of stipulation like a no holds barred or whatever.
Relative to the match.
Even a no holds barred wouldn't be busted open. Technically,
I think
but once you get to that third match, if it's a cage match, hardcore match, last man standing match, whatever it is that you've worked up to, then there can be blood.
I think when we see the crimson mask on guys, it burns in my skull. I remember a lot of them. So like when Punk fought against MJF and they did the dog collar match.
Oh, that was
and Punk
insane.
Punk was wearing all white. Like that still burned.
And then he was wearing red.
Yeah, it's seeing Punk all bloodied up. It's any wrestler, but seeing that yes, that's why I said it can go either way. I was just trying to be devil's advocate because you guys went one way, I wanted to go the other. But it does if it's a proper match, if it makes sense, like you say, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. But you also, I have to go on your side too because seeing Cody get color with his blonde hair like his daddy, like that's a spectacle. Remember when Cody came and had the torn pec and seeing the reveal, like those are memories that are burning into your skull. I don't need to see the blood and guts every single week. Once in a great while, if it like you both said, if it means something, then absolutely I want it because it's the same with the announce table. Like I don't need that to fucking break every week, and I don't need to see it break twice in a night. Like leave that for somebody else.
And again, that goes back to what we've been talking about really this whole episode, and I think we've brought up a couple other times. Like less is more. If I see somebody, like, to your point, if I see somebody go through the table in the first match, where do we go from there? If I see it twice, what's it matter? The third time, I don't give a shit, right? Something like that should be something that's saved to make it mean something. Blood should be saved to mean something. So
I think certain moves also. I think certain moves also, like the pile driver. I don't need to see that. It's dangerous.
Right.
I don't need to see it all the time.
Well, look,
but when Kevin Owens did it to Cody, and I was like, oh my God, like we were watching with friends. And both me and one of my other buddies who, similar to you, has been watching for a very, very, very long time, we were like, oh my God, he can't do that. He can't do that.
Right. And that was something that before it got banned, everybody was doing, right?
Yeah.
It didn't mean anything. Fast forward 20 years later, he hit it, and we're like, holy shit. Like,
same with the belly to back. I know it's a regular move. I hate seeing it because I feel like too many guys get hurt with broken necks. They don't know how to land on it. Some guys don't know how to throw it. Big E has a broken neck because of it.
Oh, the belly to belly.
Belly to belly, yeah. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. I don't like seeing. I just don't like it. And Cody bumps for it like it's going out of style. And I'm sorry, but he's your marquee guy. Cody should not be having anything that's hurting his neck or getting close to his neck.
And I think the big thing there was Ridge Holland was a lot shorter and smaller than Big E. You know, that kind of hurt a little bit there, but um, yeah, I mean, it's definitely obviously can be a dangerous move.
It's like Evie doing it to one of us.
Yeah, if
It would probably look good, but
if we don't,
I
because
could
you're
probably do it if I
excuse,
tried.
but it's just because you're not
you
as
could
tall
do
as
it
us.
if
That's
we
what I meant.
posted for sure.
Yeah, we do, and we lift it up off of you.
What about hardcore spots?
It's reserved for certain guys. It has. I don't want to see. I don't need to see Logan Paul in a death match. But if you give me, I don't need to see LA Knight in a death match.
Let's keep away from the death match part, and let's say this is a ladder, or this is a chair, or a sparingly used kind of thing.
I would like to see like a Penta or Ray Phoenix or certain guys that don't get regular matches be kind of given those as, okay, show us what you got. We haven't done this in years. Show me why we need to do it again. And I think certain guys are of that ilk where they need that kind of rub or push. I don't need to see. I hate seeing Seth Rollins do the power bomb, because when he lands it, or not the power bomb, he does like a flip where he lands on his legs. The move he did with LA Knight where he pretended that he got hurt.
Oh, like the lion salt.
Yeah, I don't need to see that anymore. Like I'm already thinking his knee's gonna blow out every time he does it, because he's blown his knee out a couple times. Like, I don't need to see that. I give me more. Let me see Bronson get his hands dirty. Let me see him do some type of Samoan street fight or something. Like, give me something.
And just
Give me a reason to
something that builds onto the thing.
Yeah, but outside of the ring,
Yeah.
like outside, like something a spectacle type of match. Like, give me something that's yours. Like the Undertaker had the buried alive matches, the casket matches. The Kane had the Inferno match. Bring back the dog collar matches. Bring back the lighting the ropes on fire.
Burno match.
Something. Yeah, like give me.
Didn't we just cover the safety part?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we're saying not to use it in excess, but like
every once in a while, sprinkle it in.
Yeah, like the Punjabi match where they did the bamboo wicks on the ring, like something, not that exactly, but something to that effect, where I'm seeing like, oh shit, okay, Roman, I see you doing a tribal chief match. Like, I don't even know what the fuck that is, but I'm intrigued. I want to watch.
Right. I agree. I'm cheap pop for hardcore spots. It just holds a special part in my heart, though. You had a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or...
Disclaimer, I don't know what a Punjabi match is, and it's probably not what I'm thinking it is.
Probably not. So it's a cage that's like your normal steel cage, except if, like the old blue, right? But it's made out of bamboo, or it looks like bamboo, but it's metal. And then there's a big cage that goes around the outside of that. So you have to.
It was hard to watch.
You have to escape.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah, it's hard to film too. So you have to escape the first cage, and then you have to climb over the second cage. It was made for Great Khali, just kind of as a gimmick to go with him. And there's only been one that he hasn't been a part of. I think there's only been like 3 of them in general, but none of them were good. But yeah,
that's kind of what it looks like.
Can't see it. Hold on. Oh, that looks good.
It looks cool, but it's weird.
Terrible.
But that's not my point. Is not this match particular, but let's get creative. Like, let's get Road Dogg out of creative so we can get someone in there with fresh ideas. And like, take me backstage. Let me see something back there and fight. Like,
I mean, to be fair, creative is the entire committee. It's all of them.
Yeah, no, I know. But like, remember when they did the Cody and Rock, and they were fighting at the bus, and they had fans film it. They didn't really do WWE cameras on it to make it feel like real.
This just happened, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I want shit like that, or give me like a San Diego street fight between Ray and Dom. Give me something local and like fierce.
So you're
I think Dom should retire his dad.
so you're cheap popping it.
Yeah, when EO did the spot, she landed on Rhea, and she jumped up off of the thing, like, or EO jumping off in a fucking trash can at War Games. Like, I want to see more of like,
awesome.
I want to see more shit like that. Like, yeah, I'm cheap popping it.
All right.
Although a lot of these matches that we're talking about are tailor made for Mick Foley, and we don't have a Mick Foley on the roster right now.
True. Not in WWE.
Did you do any of those matches?
Hmm?
Did it hurt?
I don't feel great. I have a...
You get paid extra?
He says it.
Yeah.
You get paid extra for hardcore? Is that a bag of tax?
I was about to say, hold on, because you're off screen on my screen, so I can't see.
Let's go! Beard is showing a bag of tax and the tax.
I'm out here trying to see underneath my screen, like
I saw it.
Look
over
the table. Let me see.
Fun fact: I actually got double choke slammed into thumbtacks by Tommy Dreamer in Abyss.
No way.
Yep.
Was Abyss stiff?
No.
How about Tommy?
They kept asking, like, "Are you sure you want to do tag?" I'm like, "I've done it before. It's fine." And then we get to it.
That probably looked cool.
Oh, it was fun. I'll have to try to find the video. It's been a while.
Did you ever work Sandman?
No. But the gimmick I was there, I was like our tag team was the Backwoods Slaughterhouse. So I have like
that's a cool
coveralls on, and it's not my normal thing, but it was my mask gimmick, which was fun. But
that's awesome.
So yeah, it was cool. Next thing
what's
on
your
the list
what's your thought
for
cheap pop or not?
Oh, for hardcore spots?
Yeah,
cheap pop for sure. Like that's my thing. That's my jam. Like that was my favorite kind of match to be in. So anytime you can get a hardcore spot, even if it's not necessarily a hardcore match, if you can work something in there, I'm for it. And the next thing kind of goes with it too. I mean, chair shots. Yeah, as long as it's not to the head. I mean, we know now how bad that is, right? And
I can't get over the fucking Foley and the Rock when he had him handcuffed.
Royal Rumble '99.
That was disgusting, man. Oh, did you ever see that, Evie?
What was that? Royal Rumble '99. I gotta watch that.
It's the last man
it's hard.
match, or I quit match.
It's really not easy to watch. It's kind of gruesome, to be honest. Like,
take what we know now about concussions and everything, and then watch that, and you'll be like, "Oh my!"
And Foley told him to lay him in. So Rock has hit him hard as fuck,
like 14 times.
That's the Rock and Foley.
Yeah, but Rock was only supposed to hit him 2 or 3 times, and Rock kind of got a little rambunctious and hit him 14, 15 times.
But Mick Foley was
straight in the head. Yeah.
So what do you think about chair shots?
I honestly didn't know that you're not supposed to hit them in the head.
Yeah, that's a big no-no ever since about 2005, since it became a concussion thing.
Yeah.
I thought they used like
don't hit anything.
No.
They're
very real.
Let's go to Walmart and swing away.
As long as you know how to use them, then I'm all for it. Not like did you guys see Jey Uso recently?
And I will tell you, like,
and it ricocheted into the forehead.
So when I first started wrestling, we could hit people in the head, and my whole way of doing it, the way I was taught, was you don't come straight over top and hit them that way, because that's probably a concussion. It's vertebrae compressed, right? If you hit it just right. So you swing this way and you just kind of do like a glancing blow. So this is their head,
Ricochet.
kind of glancing blow. That was one way to do
And it
it.
looks
Always
like you
got a
hit
big
'em.
thing. You could also.
Oh, and then
if
they're
you
supposed
swing,
to get their hands up, right?
not necessarily. Looks better if you don't. You can come over top, but stay loose with the legs and let the chair bend. Right, Undertaker did that a lot. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, you could. I'd always, not always, but I do like the Triple H thing where as it's hitting, you just kind of put your elbow here and it hit your elbow instead of your head. Sometimes you get your head a little bit, but it's better than taking it full on. So you
Full
do
force.
you get hit like this, and you go down and you hide like this, and then when you come up,
Blade.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Randy Orton famously hit the Undertaker wrong once,
yeah,
and he busted him open.
in the back of the head.
Yeah, real bad. And Taker
That
came
happens a
back
lot.
once, and he goes, Randy Orton couldn't be more apologetic, and Taker's like, "Don't worry, kid, I got you." And then they had a Hell in a Cell match.
Receipt.
Maybe, yeah, he got his receipt. And he hit the fuck out of him.
The nastiest chair shot I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was
JBL to Eddie Guerrero. Judgment Day
Yeah.
2004. That's the bloodiest.
and he laid into him.
Yeah. So what about?
I don't. If you're not gonna hit him in the head, I don't need to see it. I don't. We've seen too many of them already. I would be more about give me a barbed wire baseball bat.
I
I
like
think
chairs
that's more
that they-
believable.
I mean, hit him in the back's fine, but like you said, it's definitely overdone right now. If you set it up and give him like a sidewalk slam through it, that kind of thing,
I like that.
that'd
Yeah.
be cool. But I wouldn't.
And what's
classify that
cool
as
is when they hit you flat back, it hits you flat in the back, and then you're rolling out of the ring and they're still hitting you, and you see them hit the elbows, and that like it really hurts because you see them actually react
Yeah.
to it.
Oh, that
That's
sucks.
kind of cool.
I remember, and I felt so bad. I slid into the ring. I had to do a run into a match, and I get in the ring. I get the chair back. I swing that thing as hard as I could, and as I was swinging, I was hitting the guy that was punching. It was one of my good friends. He was punching the guy that was down there. He pulled his arm back, right on the
Ooh.
tip of his elbow, like as hard as I could swing that fucking chair. Like,
Just shatter his elbow.
no, but it was swollen by
He
the end of the
felt it.
night, and he couldn't
He felt it.
extend his arm.
Ouch.
But that is what it is. It's all part of the danger.
I don't
guess.
need to see it. I don't need to see it anymore.
Speaking
That's one
of
of those
not
things you're
needing to
talking
see it,
about.
the next thing is I don't think anybody needs to see it, and that is deathmatch wrestling.
Yeah, it just grosses me out.
Again, if it's gonna be something that's done the right way, and I just don't know that's the right way to do deathmatch, because I feel like deathmatch is just using weapons to use weapons, like, and you have like exploding ring, or you have like what is there? There's
No, through the glass of the
right.
car
And
windshield.
that's the biggest thing. Like, you can have do a barbed wire death match where you take the ropes down and you put barbed wire up. Like, that's cool, because that's not gonna kill anybody.
They take the little picos out too. They don't.
No.
They're not on the.
No, it's real.
Not in WWE.
Sometimes it is, but it doesn't. As long as you hit and you pop back out, it doesn't hurt. But if you
They
hit
had one
and
of those bats. They had
you
one
hit
of
and you go
mixed
down,
bats that.
then you're screwed. But as long as you hit
Oh.
and you step out, you're fine.
They had one of mixed bats at Mania 39 on a display, and it didn't look like it had the little spikes on it, but maybe it's just that particular bat. I don't know.
Maybe. So a friend of mine, he's known as a hardcore guy, and he had a bat that was barbed wire, which was obviously not fake. And the other thing he did was he made a bat where he glued thumbtacks to it.
Oh, nice.
Oh no.
Yeah, and that fucking sucked.
Eddie Kingston did that.
Yeah. Almost like, and the Young
But
Bucks
like
did that with their shoes and stuff. But
the shoes, that was cool. I hate
yeah,
the Young Bucks, but that was cool.
so barbed wire doesn't bother me. Yeah, thumbtacks, all that kind of stuff, I think can be used, but like, there's no reason to use glass. That's my big thing. Glass and fire.
Oh, no.
We don't need that.
I don't need to see like a Nick Cage match.
Huh?
Nick Cage or Nick Gage? Nick Cage? Not Nick Cage. Is it? He's the king of death matches.
Yeah,
Nick something.
I think it's.
Um,
I'd like to see one
Look up
with like something on the current roster, and then be okay with it. Just because I can't really relate to like the old stuff, so I think
just watch some
seeing what-
AEW. You get a lot of it, other than the
I'll
besides the
post them in our
besides
chat.
the
I'll send you.
glass.
I'll send
Oh,
you
for
two
sure.
matches that kind of stand out to me that are disgusting.
Now, to me, the perfect hardcore match would be like Randy Orton and Cactus Jack, Backlash 2004. That's one of my favorite matches ever. It had a story. It
Yep.
used barbed wire. It used thumbtacks, right? Used your typical like cookie sheets, that kind of thing. But I mean, to me, it was close to perfect as you could get from that. That's my style of match I like. But is what it is.
What was the Shane versus Kurt Angle match when they couldn't break the
King
was it
of the-
King of the Ring?
King of the Ring 2002, 3?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right. 2003, I think.
Yeah, that's
What kind of match was that though?
it was just it was a street fight, I think.
So the background on that they have like the sugar pane glass on the set. So one of them, some idiot changed it out and they didn't tell them. It wasn't sugar, it was actual real glass.
Right. And the reason behind that was go ahead.
And Kurt Angle's trying to throw Shane through it. Or no, was it Shane trying to throw Kurt or the opposite? Because I remember
Kurt
one of
trying
them
to
calling
do
the other.
he did an overhead throw.
Did Shane call him a pussy?
I don't know.
Or something like that. But Vince was so close to going and calling the match off because these idiots kept throwing each other through this they couldn't get through the real glass. They couldn't break the real glass with their momentum. And finally, Kurt grabs him by the head and just fucking chucks him through it.
Twice.
It was a cool spot. Yeah, twice. It was a cool spot. But
So it was
Shane
supposed to
took
be-
years off his life.
Yeah. It was supposed to be like easy breakaway glass,
That's
But-
attempted.
but they knew whoever did the set was like, well, we can't do that because the fireworks, will
yeah.
break the glass. Well, so they put real glass in, and somewhere along the line that communication was lost. But so yeah, that was our cheap pop or go away heat for this week. It was kind of
I like that.
Old
I think that was
school.
good.
old school base, but just kind of a recap of what we talked about. We said old school wrestling felt real. It was harder to access, right? So it was regional, it was territory based, so the people didn't know everything about the business, didn't have access to all the results and all that kind of stuff. Kayfabe was the big thing. Violence was there, but it was rare. It built up to it, right? You had your matches and you had your build and your feud. Stories took patience, and we talked about that before too. But like you had to be there for the build again, all the way up to the violence, all the way up to the blood, all the way up to the street fight or the steel cage match or whatever. And the big thing was people back then didn't know that it was pre-planned, right? They had their suspicions, but they didn't know that it was a work, right?
Yeah.
And modern wrestling isn't, again, not that it's wrong or anything like that, but it feels different because it's transparent now. Like everybody knows everything that's going on. So that kind of killed the mystique, right? Nobody's fault, but that's going to happen. You know, once you know the magic of the magic trick isn't the same, right?
But you do get excited to watch the trick be happen because, like,
In
not
a
everyone knows, but I
in a
know the
different
insight.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, different
Overexposure,
perspective.
right? It reduces the specialness. If you have it too much, you can't appreciate it as much. Um, Safety, right? It's safer now than ever, which is a great thing. Um, and the biggest thing is with modern wrestling, fans analyze rather than just believe. So again, that comes down to we're watching and we're criticizing and analyzing everything instead of just being in the moment and feeling and that's kind of the big difference. Personally, for me, that's what stands out. Uh, Might not be for everybody, but that's for me. So, anything else that you guys want to add before we wrap this up?
I think we just need to enjoy what we're watching and not overanalyze things as much as we do. Like the old stuff, yeah, because it's happened already. But like, let's give the new guys a chance to do something. Because I mean, I'm a tough critic. There's a lot I don't like, and I share it with those who will listen. And there's a lot that I do like, but I think a lot of these guys they're being pushed too quickly, and they need a runway to either hang themselves or prove themselves that they're the next guy. And while all these guys retiring, AJ, Brock, Cena, Randy, Punk in a couple years, like new faces are going to have to develop, or the business is going to die.
Right.
So I mean, if you want this to continue, you got to give these guys a chance. And I don't like the guys that are super strapped rocket guys. I like the more organic. Like, let me learn to like this guy. Let me learn why again. Why? Let me hear the backstory. Like, and also let's get more managers because not if these guys can't talk, let's create another job. We need more than just Paul Heyman. Like, we need guys to help sell these fights. Brock never needed Paul Heyman. It just added to it. Brock is a tremendous talker. They just don't give him the mic. But my man cuts better promos than half of the roster right now.
I think when he was young, he needed him. Once
Probably.
upon a time, he couldn't cut a promo.
But now,
yeah, now he's fine.
I mean, he's fucking funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my take, I guess.
Well then, the young folks got to take advantage of the time they're given, though. Because a lot of them seem like they're given the spot and then they just butterfingers. They just fumble. And that kind of kills it to even try and give them a chance. Like, I get it, a lot of you guys have been following Jordan Grace or whatever, but I wasn't buying what she was selling, and then they moved her up to WWE, and then like the first 3 matches she had, I'm hooked. I'm a fan. I want to see more of her. I want to see her become the champion. And I mean, she's put in the work to get to where she's at, but not all these people that are coming up. They just come up and they think they got it. Versus her, she still has that new feel. Like her and Roxanne Perez, but both came up and somehow, some way, they just popped. And I'm hooked. I want to see more of them. Versus the other people that came up. I was excited to see Julia. I was so excited to see her, and then they flopped on her. And now, I mean, again, it goes back to booking, but at the same time, I don't see her advocating for herself or trying to negotiate something with the booking, like try and push her, But I'm hooked on Jordan, and I want to see her. And she just had like 4 or 5 matches. She already cut promos with Jade. Like, what?
Jade and Oba are like the class of NXT right now. Like, they were the 2 best ones. So to see them getting over in WWE, like, what they're trying to do is get someone like you to be interested in them. So they're doing their job. Someone who's just getting back into it, or someone who isn't like obsessed with it like Beard and I are, but you pay attention and you notice. Like Jordan Grace and Oba Femi are like the people they want you to be like, oh, that big motherfucker or that buff ass girl, like that was cool. Like they want you to see those people as attractions.
Right, but you also have the new people or people that have been in WWE who were on the lower level and not you wouldn't call them mid or main event, right? And they're given a chance, an opportunity, and they're not doing anything with it. But you get these newcomers and like I don't care who's on the roster on the lower card or whatever before Jordan. I want to see Jordan. Give her more screen time. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's where I put Braun Breaker, to be honest with you. I don't think he's ready for main event, but I think he's outgrown NXT. So he's kind of in my opinion, and probably my opinion alone only, he's a tweener. He's not really there yet, and they keep pushing him, almost force him down our throats like they did Roman. And it took Roman years of kind of getting away from the push to do his own thing to create what is now the tribal chief, which everybody kind of respects and loves.
Right.
Sorry,
I mean,
dude.
I think it's a lot of you have to let them have that spot, let them have that chance, and kind of let them sink or swim. Kind of to your point. But I do want to piggyback off of something Grandma said. I challenge everybody listening to this, and even us three, to, when we're watching wrestling, make sure that we're enjoying it. Let ourselves dive in and let us, for that moment, that 5-10 minutes, whatever it is, let us believe that it's, that it's legitimate, that it's real, that we love or we hate what we're seeing, and so that we feel like a kid again. And that's tough to do. It's kind of double tough for me, and might honestly be just as tough for people like for you, Grandma, that you're obsessed with it and you know a lot of the insider stuff without having gone through training, right? So you kind of understand a little bit that side of it. For me, it's just a little bit different because of having been in the ring and seeing that kind of thing and kind of knowing the psychology and all that kind of stuff. So my challenge is for us to step back from all that, step back from the analyzing, step back from the criticizing. So what if it's not what we thought it was going to be, right? Enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
And that can be a challenge because we're accustomed to voicing our opinion and wanting what we want, and we know what we want. But there's a song out there that says you can't always get what you want, and we gotta realize that. And the sooner we realize that, the more we can enjoy what we see. That's just my thought there. But kind of a reminder to everybody out there: make sure you like, subscribe, or follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, True Fan, and now on, as when this is
Amazon.
released, this will be also on Amazon Music and Audible. So pretty much anywhere you can find your podcasts, we will be. Another update I just now remembered. Apple Podcasts will be doing video podcasts here soon. So our video will not only be on YouTube, I think it'll also be on Apple Podcasts. I do have to read a little bit more up on that, though. So we should be able
Quick
to
question about the
Spotify also.
Amazon. Will all our back episodes be on there, or just this episode and going forward?
Our whole library should go on there. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So it'll be good. That, as far as I know, it's going to be everything. So if not, I can probably go in and upload the other ones. But I'll leave you guys with this thought: wrestling doesn't need to be unsafe, but it does need to feel unpredictable. How we feel about that. But to everybody, I hope you had a good listen here. We've had a hell of a fun 2.5 hours. And we'll be back with you again next Friday at 3 p.m.
Amen.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
See ya!